need to get my motherfucking fireplace. Let's go. There we go. Fucking World Cup is going on right now, and I have to use this mic just because I don't want to like hold a microphone like this for like the entire time. So this is less. This microphone picks up more background noise. So yeah. Whenever my parents scream because they're watching the World Cup right now, I think stream will like 100% hear it. I think. Maybe I should just hold the microphone the whole time. What's up? Hey yo, the interview's today? Yes sir. James is showing up in like 3 minutes. He's a good boy, sticking to his time, sticking to his schedule. Nothing much is up, Dominique. What about you? What's up, what's up, what's up? The only stream I've done since like I did gaming shit since I streamed video games like months ago. Currently packing for a trip to Berlin, so I'll be listening to this like a podcast. Are you gonna see Yana? Oh. France or Argentina? Argentina. Because I'm South American. So I don't know. It's good to see it's good to see like my continent win. This is so cool. It will be cool. I hope. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. I've only spoken to James in like text messages. So yeah. I've never actually spoken vocally with him. No, you're not. You're going with a friend? Dang. Nah, France is gonna get that dub? I don't know. Like, France just all of a sudden, like, got it up. I'm like, goddamn. They're gritty. They're gritty. They've got grit. Now it's a fucking slobber knocker. It's fucked up. Yeah. Got my, script sort of guideline I want to go by. Oh my god, they're so loud. Never mind. I'm switching mics. I'm switching mics. That's fucked up. Hello, hello, testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Testing, testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, hello, testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, hello, testing. 1 2 3. What do you major in? I major in linguistics. I'm in my third year. And yeah. Fucking was trying to like calm down the nerves, so like I installed a new C stick on my controller. My stick box on this controller is so fucked. And this is like not as tight as I want it to be. Like vertically it's like not very tight, but like horizontally it's fine. So getting my stick box replaced soon. That's gonna be cool. Yo, what's up? What's up, YT Cone? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Just waiting on James now. I think this interview is going to be interesting. I mainly started watching James for his technology shit, so like talking to him about tech's going to be pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to call James right now. Let me just deactivate this camera. Do you use a ThinkPad T60? No, I used to use an X61, but now I use an X220. Oh my god, what the fuck happened to my camera? Hello? Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Nothing much. My camera settings are really fucked up, and I don't know why.
No, you're cool. Go ahead and adjust it.
There we go. Can you like hear my parents screaming at all downstairs, by the way?
Nah.
Thank God. Because the World Cup game is going on right now. And
I'm watching the scores actually.
yeah, my parents are screaming, to say the least.
Yeah,
So,
who they're rooting for?
I can't even tell anymore, honestly. My mom is like a really big fan of Mbappe, but like she's from South America, and like our country neighbors Argentina, like, cause like we're Chilean. So like on one hand, it's like we want to see like our own like continent win, or like our own region win, but like France is like looking really good, and like Mbappe is like, you know, this young star, and it's all like cool and shit. But yeah, welcome, James.
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me.
No worries. It's very much an honor to speak to Mr. jvscholz. Let's just go over here. So I'm just gonna do a quick introduction to who I am. My name is Lucas. I am a third-year linguistics student from Southern Ontario. I'm 20 years old, from 2002. Fuck you. Don't laugh at me. I make study content, have a lot of retro shit, mainly because of this boy right here. And yeah. James.
Cool to meet you, Lucas. Yeah, I have a few YouTube channels. Mainly focused on productivity and like studying, but also a few on technology as well. And Lucas,
What's up?
I've never talked to him before, but it seems like we have a lot in common. So
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but I think I might have told you in like messages before, but I originally found you from your setup video in 2021. I think it was like the setup video that blew. I think it's your only setup video with like 1 million views on jvscholz, where like it's like your setup, and I watched it, and I just kept on watching it. Like I watched it like lots of times because I was like, damn, this guy's like living in like 2010, 2011 with his setup, like fucking CRT and shit, running 4.3, like the app, like the fucking Apple M1048, I think.
The keyboard.
Yeah. I actually for a while I was trying to buy one, but it's
They're kinda
really
expensive.
it's
Yeah.
really annoying to get. They're a little cheaper on Macari, but like importing to Canada is like really really shit. Like my HHKB that I run, I have a
Mhm.
Pro 2, and that I still got for really cheap because some dude was selling it for like 100 Canadian. So after like shipping and imports, it was like 180, and it came lubed with like I don't know how you call this, but like this foam pad at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
So yeah, I found you from there, and then like I literally did not give a shit about your study content because I was so gamer pilled still. I was like constantly playing games like 6 hours a day. Very very shit in school. I was like really depressed, so I was like laying in bed watching South Park. Not even like the show in full episode lengths. I was watching like highlight videos on YouTube of South Park, and that's all I did. And then eventually, um, I stumbled upon that, and then it took me like months until I got into like the whole productivity thing. And here I am. I don't know.
yeah,
So
that's cool, bro. I'm glad you're taking your studies more seriously. I hope.
I definitely am. Um, Before I was like I was such a bad student. Even in my like mandatory grades and my mandatory classes that I needed. I'm really lucky because linguistics doesn't have a high um like like high like grade requirement for acceptance.
Mhm.
So I was able to get by with like a 60% to get into my program. And I'm only like one of like in total, even including Keo, I'm like one of 7 linguists that like I know or watch. So yeah, it was also cool for you to see Keo. He's another inspiration of mine.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't aware that he was a linguistics student, and the whole thing was kind of last minute, like. So yeah, that was definitely my bad.
No. I found it really funny. Um, I actually have. I don't know if I have. Oh, I do have it here. Because I watched Keo, I bought one of these like a while ago, and it's the same sort of thing. It's really bad though. I got it like I don't know if you have this in the U.S., but it's called the Source.
No,
It's like
not
an
sure what that
electronic
is.
store, and
No,
I
no.
was at the mall. I was at like a local mall with a friend,
Mhm.
and I saw it on like clearance, and I bought it just because I'm like, oh my god, it's like Keo.
I actually didn't know that was a thing for him. People were talking about it in chat, but yeah, one of
He
my
has 2 of
homies
them.
has one too. Okay, yeah, he showed me it, but I was like, oh, I didn't know it's like a thing for you, but it was cool though. Just kind of punch it,
Yeah, you just tap the top of it and it
right?
goes off. It's really weird because like when you type, like desk vibrations can sometimes set it off. So sometimes it'll just like randomly change. I'm like, fuck. All right, without getting too sidetracked, maybe you can like mention like your major, your occupation, and your passions aside from like I don't know, like studying.
Yeah, so I'm a computer engineering student, and I guess like I'm just mainly interested in self-improvement and helping people, you know, improve themselves as well.
Good shit, brother. Is there any reason like any reason like why you got into study streaming in the first place? Because you streamed like more than even like most full-time streamers on like Twitch stream, and you were just sitting down studying. Like, was there any reason for that?
Yeah, so just to set the context, I mean, this is at the start of the pandemic, and I figured that I already knew how people would be acting at home because I'm kind of a homebody already. So you can just kind of figure out what people will be doing if they're stuck at home all day. And I was trying to find a creative solution to help people during the pandemic while also staying on track myself. And study with me like solves that problem like in several ways. It like builds a community, and I can be productive while I make the videos. And during this period of time, like there weren't a lot of study with me channels yet.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Like, how big was the scene when you got into it? Like,
There
were
was
there any people like that are still around now that were in it back then?
so the I mainly got into it because of Helene, study vibes.
Mm.
But I've actually hadn't seen like a study with me stream before the pandemic. Like I was just trying to think of solutions for like what to do during the pandemic, and I was taking a break on the sofa, and one of her videos got recommended, and I was like, this is the solution. Like that's crazy.
It just sort of came to you,
Yeah, but
like a stroke
the
of luck.
scene, yeah, for real, it was just a calling. And then like the scene back then was just like Helene and like a few Korean people, I guess. And I guess like to the longer streams or whatever, like 12 hours a day was really 10 hours of studying,
Yeah, because you had
which
10-minute breaks.
and I guess if you factor in like lectures, and I was also kind of going hard on Japanese at the time, I don't think it's too crazy. And also I wanted to push myself during this period of time, so yeah,
Yeah,
the max length you can stream on YouTube is 12 hours. Like that's the cutoff before they'll stop saving your videos.
I remember like I definitely agree with when you take into account like people think like, oh, you're studying for this long, but like when you're doing it, it really doesn't feel that long. Like I recently started doing some study streams while studying for my final. I'm really lucky. I only had one final exam, so I had an exam in basically it was semantics. So I had an exam in semantics, and I started studying the week before the exam, and then I started streaming it. And then while I was streaming it, like I started off with 2 hours, and then I was like, this is too short. I started because it was like I only studied Japanese during that time just as a test run. Then I studied 4 hours to see if I can do 2 hours of Japanese, 2 hours of semantics, and I was like, nah, fuck this, we're doing seven. And then I did 7 hours. I'm like, this still doesn't feel like that much. And I feel like a lot of people, what they don't realize is like when you think about the amount of time that you're spending doing something, you don't really feel it in that time. And you have to like people have to keep in mind like when they're doing things that they already do automatically, they're actually passing a lot of time like performing those activities without even realizing it. Like getting ready in the morning, brushing your teeth, putting on clothes, eating breakfast, like that can take like an hour, but it doesn't feel like that much. So when like you just sit down and study for that period of time, you just sort of like autopilot, and it comes very naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I know plenty of people who work a lot harder than I do. So I guess like to me like it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like I guess I just know a lot of people who are a lot harder working than me and also a lot smarter, so I just thought this is actually doable for me. But I guess to a lot of people that was a lot. So
Mm. Because like you see like the 12-hour length on like a YouTube video, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like
yeah,
it gets intimidating. And then like once you actually like follow along to it, you're like, oh shit, this isn't that bad.
yeah. I mean, I think it's bad, but up to that point, I'd been going pretty hard in my studies already, so I knew I could do it.
Mm. So, starting off from like studying, because the main thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is like the main reason why I even found you, was tech. Like your
Mm-hmm.
choice of tech, digital minimalism. Um, how it contributes to getting into deep work. Like another thing that getting a little side, I'm just gonna mention this right now. You got me back into reading. So I first started reading. I'm not sure if you read this book. It's called The Inner Game of Tennis. Um, really, really good book for improvement. For like, it's more like for improving, or like learning how like we we as humans say we learn a lot of things, but a lot of the things that we classify as things that are learned are things that we actually acquire, like through playing sports or like playing video games or learning language. Those are all skills that you improve by like acquiring them. So it's actually really popular because I'm really into Super Smash Brothers Melee. So like I have my controller right here. I was playing before this. Um, it's a really really good improvement book. But then after that, read Atomic Habits, Deep Work, Digital Minimalism, and I was like, damn, James kind of based. So when did you like starting off like earliest like baby James? When did you first get into technology in general?
Yeah, my grandpa was an engineer. So I mean, I'm like an only child,
Same.
and uh, I just don't have that much family, so I just spent a lot of time by myself. And yeah, I just kind of got on the computer because of my grandpa.
Mm. Shout out to dad. Shout out to only children who have engineering grandfathers. My grandfather was also an engineer. I never met him. He died when my dad was 19, but he was an engineer, and one of the rings that my dad wears actually on his pinky is one from Mohawk College, which is like a college here in like
He's got
Hamilton.
a engineering. That's cool.
Yeah, he was in engineering. I was gonna go into like computer science, but um, things changed. But I'll talk about that later. um, so you got into computing from an early age, just because like only child, not a lot of family around. I can really relate to that because my dad was working all the time. I played on like an old like Macintosh G5, big CRT, playing like racing games that are available on the Apple Store at that time. That sort of sparked me into technology, but like the tech that like everyone else is like interested in uses is very different from like the tech that like you, me, like fucking Cryosan, the old mechanical keyboard YouTuber, like they're all very different. So when did you first get into vintage computing?
I mean, if you look at my old setup videos, I have like an IBM Model M from when I was like 14.
You were
So
14 and you had a Model M?
yeah, back then they were super cheap too. I probably got it for like 45 bucks.
Oh, oh,
So I mean, I've been in the scene for a minute.
god damn.
Uh, yeah, but the main thing that got me into is actually keyboards, and then from there, that's kind of when I started appreciating older technology.
I think that's the gateway drug.
Yeah,
I think that's the
there's some
gateway.
amazing keyboards.
You feel buckling springs for the first time and you're just like, damn, if only I had a CRT to match this buckling spring keyboard. I actually have a Model M on my desk right now. I'm not using it because like when I play games, like I play rhythm games from time to time when I'm not
That's
studying.
kind of
So
heavy,
like
kind of
I
heavy for that.
yeah, it's heavy and it has really bad NQ rollover. So instead I use like a 6GV2, which is also like
I think it's,
uh,
it's kind of ancient.
yeah, from
Like
back in
on
the
mixed
day.
reds, right?
No,
I
this
think
one's
it's black.
blacks.
Oh, really? I
I
didn't know
prefer
that one
heavier
was blacks.
switches.
I remember looking at those in like middle school, bro.
It was like my dream keyboard back then. But I got it off of like secondhand for like my dad bought it for himself for like his computer setup. And it's funny because
Mm.
my computer set that I use for studying, it's actually my dad's old computer. And this I got because he bought it, and then this mouse I also bought because he bought it. No,
Is
I
that an
bought this.
IntelliMouse?
Hmm?
Is that an IntelliMouse?
It's
Or just
the
a normal?
Redux IntelliMouse. I used to have the IntelliMouse that had the two buttons on the side.
The Explorer?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are good. Good mouse.
Yeah, but I was a dumb kid and I was like, "Oh, look at this mouse. It's so old." look how old this mouse is. Because like when you're young, you don't really understand like tech. You're like, oh, this thing is beige. It's not like cool RGB, so this is cringe. So like I fucked it up. Like I used to like drop it and shit, like to impress my friends, and like the sensor rattles really bad now. It's like unusable, and it's really sad because I really love that mouse. And I saw you
Yeah.
whip it out on one of your streams, and I was like, damn, I wish I didn't fucking break that mouse.
I mean, it's a good mouse. Yeah. The sensor is pretty. It has like really low DPI, so it's not that fun to study with because I just don't want to use a large mouse pad on my streaming setup.
I
But
only
yeah,
use 400 DPI for the most part. On this computer, I use 800 because it's easier to go from monitor to monitor.
that
But
makes sense.
I was a I was a 400 DPI user from like grade 6 until grade 11. It's like 6 years. And I still prefer low sensitivity and everything. It's just like my style.
Mm.
Oh my god, they're screaming. Uh so do you have any like opinions on why you would prefer vintage computing over mainstream computing, or do you sort of mix them up in your daily life, like depending on like what task you're doing? Because I remember for a bit you did used to use a like your mom's MacBook.
Yeah, I used to use her MacBook Pro because I needed a Mac for whatever reason. I forget now. I think there's like an emotional argument that you can make with computers as being much more devoid of character nowadays. Like
Mm.
they're just kind of tools, but they kind of just don't lack they just lack personality, you know.
Especially now everyone has like a glass side panel and RGB on their computers.
You just can't be offensive with what you're producing, so it just has to like appeal to everybody. Whereas I'd say like older computers are just a lot more like your friends, or they're like something that you'd enjoy looking at.
They have
I
character.
guess like the logical reason would be like, well, it's cheaper. I mean, I get most of my gear for under like $20.
The scene here is so bad.
Oh yeah, in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, in
Um,
Southern Ontario, in my area, I live in the Greater Toronto area. So like all the suburbs that make up like the area around Toronto, and
mm,
it's just a lot of like like in my city at least, it's a lot of old rich white people who they're all trying to sell like their iPods as vintage collectibles for like $200. And it's like a Gen 5 with like a shot battery and like a completely destroyed drive. So it's like, what the fuck, bro? You're scamming me.
yeah, that's hella whack. Yeah, here I'll just like find a CRT on the side of the road, or just I found a AT101. Like there's like a Dell mechanical keyboard with Alps, and I got that from the thrift store for like $5.
No, not with the AT. It's the Dell
And
keyboard,
it's
right?
like, yeah, the AT101W, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Alps
was like
Blacks.
probably 5 or 6 years ago now, but yeah, it just kind of came up.
God damn.
So I guess there's like the argument you can make where it's just cheaper, and back then I didn't have like much money, and then like it's more like if you use old technology, you can actually get away with doing a lot. Like I would say that your computing needs probably aren't that high for most people, so it's perfectly suitable to use technology that's just less powerful. And I also can appreciate the intentionality with how they made products back then. You know,
And
not
you're
just
also a Linux user.
yeah, I
So
do use
like
Linux, so it's like runs fine on older systems. You know.
just to ask a quick question, because I noticed on your last study stream you're no longer running i3. You're running like XFCE with like Chicago. Like what are you running on your study PC right now?
Yeah, so I got like a stream computer and a study computer hooked up to this one CRT,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's running XFCE. Yeah, I use a tunneling window manager on my laptop, so I was just kind of messing around with XFCE because it's a really good window manager and it's kind of branch out a little bit.
Yeah, I started off using XFCE. I used Mint XFCE when I first started on my X61. Like,
Mm.
I have some photos of it on like my Reddit post history because I was like, lol, karma, XFCE, retro, internet points.
Yeah,
So
XFC is really good. I mean, I wouldn't blame anyone for using it.
yeah, it works on everything. So when did you find out about digital minimalism?
I got into it in 2017. Like when I was in high school, I was using a flip phone and stuff.
In high school.
Yeah.
God damn.
So how many years is that?
2017. Yeah, yeah.
5 years approximately.
Was there any reason for you switching to digital minimalism? Like, did you read the book at that time, or did you just decide like
I'm
you
not sure the
want?
book was out back then, actually.
It wasn't.
I'm not sure. I definitely didn't read it back then, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I my first flip phone was a Nokia 3310 3G that came out in 2017. So that's
Baller.
fine now. I guess I just like Nokia, so I was following them pretty closely, and I wanted to try out their new cutesy, quirky phone, you know.
Yeah. Was there anything in specific that made you go down the rabbit hole, or was it just like I like Nokia phones, I want to try using Nokia phones?
I guess I'm pretty experimental with a lot of things. Um, and I was also just kind of frustrated with how people were acting around me.
Mm.
So it's kind of like a middle finger to I was pretty emo. It's kind of like a middle finger to the other students at school, you know.
Used to have that emo hair too.
Yeah, I guess I've always had the emo hair, but
So you used to straighten your hair.
my hair is naturally straight.
Oh, really?
I just look super emo when it's straight, so nowadays I don't leave it straight.
You just
Yeah.
leave it messy.
Yeah, because I just don't want to look. I'm not emo, but I just don't want to look emo.
I got you. A little bit of a curiosity question. How much in total do you think you've spent on detoxing devices plus laptops?
I've like tried everything out there, and I really like portable electronics, which laptops fall under. I sell a lot of stuff. Like I've been selling things on eBay since I was like 12.
What the fuck?
Yeah, if you look at my eBay account, like I called them the other day and they were like, "Thanks for being a customer for over 10 years." I'm like, that's
God
crazy. I
damn.
didn't realize it, but I guess if you want like the net amount, it's probably several thousands, I would imagine.
And would that include? Because I feel like, yeah, several thousands. Because you also did get into like those like niche think by group buys, which I feel like would make up a lot of money. Like
What group is?
the 51, like the 51 XL, like the Chinese manufacturer for like the custom motherboards,
Oh,
because those are like expensive.
yeah. I usually bought those off of Reddit actually.
Oh
I
really?
didn't go through the group buy method. I did a group buy for the X2100, but I actually sold it. So
Hmm. How do you think digital minimalism has impacted your life so far? You're like 22, right? 22, 23?
yeah, I'm 22.
Okay.
There's probably several factors. I would say the main thing is focus. But being like a social media guy, I guess, and being like an influencer or whatever, it's pretty important to maintain a grip with reality and not conflating, you know, social media with your value.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of mental health benefits and focus benefits. And I would just say my quality of life is just generally improved. Yeah.
I noticed that because I was trying to make the thumbnail for this stream, and I was like, I'm gonna go to James' Instagram and find like some old cringe photo of him, and you deleted your Instagram, you motherfucker. Couldn't find any
Yeah,
cringe photos of you.
it's disabled. I didn't delete it,
Oh, you
but
disabled it.
I just didn't. I don't know. I don't really get the point of Instagram, so
I see. Because like on your Instagram you had like photos of you like in high school, and you were like tagged in photos from like your high school. Did you ever run into any problems with people taking advantage of that?
Oh yeah, people would message people that I was following and like people that I was tagged with, and it's kind of annoying actually, because people would just message me asking who messaged them, you know,
Yeah,
and I don't know what to tell them. Like,
that's why like I've separated like my I've recently made my personal Instagram public. I feel like I need to make it private again because I'm afraid of like my friends and family being harassed if I like, because I'm a lot smaller than you, but like I always think about that in the back of my head, like because like people are weird, people are creepy. I don't know.
yeah, people are creepy. You should look at. I have this like friend request from someone on Facebook, and it's
On
like
Facebook.
it's my picture as their profile picture, and then it's like my banner is their banner picture. But
What the fuck?
yeah,
That's so weird. It's Facebook.
I probably shouldn't be on Facebook, but I need it for a marketplace.
Oh,
So
marketplace is fire.
yeah, because I'm a car guy, and like a lot of this scene is on like Facebook Marketplace. So
Have you thought
I
about just
guess
like going by like an alternative alias?
yeah, I've tried to make accounts like, and they always get banned for impersonation because they think I'm impersonating myself.
What the fuck?
So like, I don't know what to do because I need to. If I'm trying to find some car parts, you know.
Yeah, just to get a friend. Be like, hey yo, friend. Like, can
I
you?
did that for a while.
Oh, you
I did
did?
that, but I like I would message like people constantly about it and it'd be like a nuisance, you know.
Yeah, I see you. Something that I was really interested in is how you use like paper to track track things. I don't know if you
Mm.
do it much now, but you did a lot in the past, and I was wondering, how did you manage to keep up with all those physical notebooks? Like did it not just take up like a lot of space in your bag? Like,
I mean, I was at home when you saw that,
oh, okay.
but I actually really appreciate traveling light, which is I'm like pretty into ultra portable stuff. So
Hmm.
usually when I'm out and about, it's not many notebooks.
Because I know you have. Do you use your do you have a Unihertz Titan or was it the BlackBerry?
I have a BlackBerry Key too, yeah.
Do you use your Key 2 and like SSH into your like home computer to like Emacs org to like habit track?
You can actually run a native Linux on the Key too, so I
Oh,
don't have
really?
SSH. Yeah, but I'd run org mode on it.
Hype. So you kind of mentioned this earlier, but as a streamer and student during the pandemic, how do you think people's relationship changed with their technology during and post quarantine? Because we were locked up for a while.
Oh shit, Argentina scored.
They did?
Yeah, it's
Thank
3
you,
2.
thank you.
I think it's over.
It's over.
It's 150 minutes, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Does it say final? Oh, it says final.
No, I was rooting for France.
Fuck.
Oh well. Um,
Mbappe will get it next year. I mean next
yeah,
time.
he already has one, it's fine.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm sure people became more addicted to their personal phones or laptops or whatever, social media, because they're at home all day. People don't know what to do nowadays by themselves, you know.
Mm. Did
And
you?
post-pandemic, I'm sure that those feelings are still felt.
Yeah. I was going to actually like try and make a video on it, but because like it's so recent, I was trying to find like solid academic articles to use as references for a video, but they're all so new that they haven't had any chance to be peer reviewed yet. So, but like I just by like judging, like living as a human, as a student, knowing other people, I can definitely agree. Like people now, I even have some people in my I have like one guy in specific in my chat who like he talks about like, oh my god, my screen time is so high, and I'm like, stop using your phone. Calm down with it. Put it away, dude. Lock it up. Um, yeah, it's rough, definitely. Um, so I wanted to sort of get your like your take on this because this is something that. Oh, what's up, James? um, I have, because I am planning on making a video on this in the future, and it's about TikTok, and more
Mm.
generally the TikTok format. And I want to see if you have any like opinions on that.
Like short form video.
Yeah, like sort of like how Vine started it, and then Vine went away, and then TikTok came back, and then everyone just sort of started capitalizing off of that sort of short vertical video format. Like I have listed on here Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Netflix has shorts, which is weird to say the least. Like you
Yeah.
open up Netflix on your phone, or like I still use a smartphone. Um and if I almost never open up Netflix anyways, but if I do open up Netflix, at the bottom it has shorts, and it'll play like shorts from like movies and stuff. So how do you think, I guess my point is, how do you think, what are your opinions on the impact that this vertical short form like format of media is, and how detrimental do you think it is for like the future?
Yeah, bro. I wasn't aware that Netflix had shorts. I don't
Everything
really
has
use
shorts, dude.
Netflix. Same with Reddit. I wasn't aware that I had shorts either, and I actually use Reddit, so it's pretty crazy. And I guess Instagram has shorts.
Yeah.
I never really used it for that, but I've seen it before. Um, I would say the main thing is like your attention span. I'm not sure if have you heard the statistic where our attention span is worse than our goldfish? Like it's gone down since the smartphone was introduced.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like it's worse than a goldfish.
And we always say like, oh, you have the attention span of a goldfish, but the goldfish's attention span isn't even super bad. But ours has just regressed that far.
My attention span. Yeah, I feel like whenever you introduce something like that, it's like really easy to get sucked in, knowing that it's like you'll eventually get like a quick dopamine hit once the algorithm shows you something that it knows you want to see.
That was like the
And
whole
it's
point of
kind of
digital minimalism. Like I think that was like the first chapter of digital minimalism.
I actually haven't read the book in a minute, so it's kind of foggy to me. But
I'm really weird with this.
really,
I remember random things, but yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but like the algorithms are designed to not always show you the best content. It's like an RNG system where you don't know whether or not you're gonna find something good, so it keeps you like scrolling for more.
Mm. I thought it was just like algorithm learns your interest, tries to keep you in, but like it, because like it's ever changing and ever learning, it's gonna miss like 100%. It's not gonna get every single thing that you want, because people's interests change, and people's interests are broad and like wide. So that was sort of like the impression that I had on it, but I am not a CS student. I am not a marketing genius. I am a guy who watched a YouTuber and made a YouTube channel, and I look at words, so I don't know much.
I would say that the algorithm knows you remarkably well, like a lot better than would anticipate. Like TikTok specifically has a really deep grip on your phone's data, and it
Yeah,
knows exactly
definitely.
where you are and your like just demographics in general. And it has trackers tracking what websites you visit, and it knows like your interests. And it can also like keep statistics about how like long you're on a certain topic, and it will know what is interesting to you in the moment and like any relevant topics in your area.
Do you know about the Tim Hortons controversy that happened here in Canada?
No, I'm not aware.
So what happened is that there was I think something got exposed, and like the API for like the Tim Hortons app, which is like what you use to like put points onto your Tim Hortons card. Like if you don't know, Tim Hortons is basically just Dunkin' Donuts. That's all
Yeah, I
it
know
is.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, okay. So fucking all what the app does is just tell you deals, and like you load points, and you sometimes get rewards, but like the API was like storing a lot of data very blatantly. like 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 looking over variable names. It was like time left house, time returned home, time at work, in proximity, how close your distance is to a Tim Hortons, and just shit like that. Very, very like invasive and intrusive.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean the algorithm definitely knows who you're hanging out with and like where you
yeah,
are at all times. So it's it wouldn't be like it's the whole like I guess the overarching question was what is the effect like short form video has on you, and it's just that like it's a really effective medium of keeping people using your app.
I definitely agree. Um, I feel like on one hand, I can't blame developers because it's such like an a good and like it's such a
Oh, France has
it,
scored. Sorry.
France scored.
Yeah, it's
What?
not over. 3-3.
That's
Alright,
why
my bad.
that's why my mom just started making random noises. She was like, "Rah!"
It's Mbappe. He scored again. He
"Oh
scored
my
three
god,
goals.
3!
Yeah.
Holy shit!" Um, yeah, I feel like the 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 video format for creators and for advertisers is really good, but at what cost to sort of the general society, you know?
Yeah, I'm worried about people who are younger than us, like who are in middle school, like and growing up on what is really hyper stimulating content.
Yeah. And I'm like just 2 years younger than you, but I feel like I'm more like zoomer pilled than you to so to say. Like I feel like I spend like a lot more time on my phone, and it feels really weird just like I'm trying to disconnect, like, but like it's still such a thing that I see everywhere. Like I'm on the bus, I'm like waiting to like get tea at like the student center, and like everyone's on their phone, everyone's on TikTok at all times, or like on reels. I'm just like, damn, like you can't be alone. That's weird. Because we went so long being able to just sit on a bus and do nothing and maybe like listen to music, and now
Mm.
we've just like regressed past that. Now we have like iPad kids who like play Minecraft all day because their parents are just like putting an iPad in front of them because it's easier. Like you have all those like pretty colors and whatnot. It's
Yeah,
also,
I was a waiter. It was really depressing seeing how many kids are just on their iPads.
dude, I was also a server for years, and some parents, like, I'm sorry to say this, some parents can't parent. They sit their children down, they put on like Coco Melon or whatever is on kids Netflix, and they just sit them down, put the phone in front of them, and when they make noise and whatnot, they don't even care because they're also on their phones. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's fucked up. It's like you're being disconnected at such a young age, and that those are like the times where like you should be connected. Like even me as a kid, like I was really nerdy, introverted. I still like went out and did things. I didn't spend all my time on my computer. I still had like friends in my neighborhood that I would go to, and those are like memories that I cherish, and I'm happy that those things happen. Even if I don't talk to everyone during that time, like people move on and everything, stuff like that happens. But now I'm afraid that it's just gonna turn into people just like constantly playing games, or just like sitting down on their phones and just doom scrolling for hours and hours and hours a day. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, I ramble.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware, like, the Chinese TikTok like shows kids like educational content, whereas
This
like,
is that I have that's on my document, and I forgot to
oh
say.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like they're showing like American kids, like, or I guess Canadian, like just kids outside of China, just like delinquent content, and then they're showing Chinese kids like educational content. I think it's kind of morbidly funny personally, but
they're like trying to progress their society, but then they know
yeah,
how
while
much
they're
they can
putting
profit
everyone
off
else
the
down.
West.
Yeah, they're profiting and like destroying the like the futures of every other nation. It's pretty impressive. Morbidly funny to me, but I kind of have a messed up sense of humor, so
No, no, that's funny. That's funny. They gotta play dirty.
yeah,
They've secretly just been like powerhousing the economy for a really long time, and now they have TikTok, and now it's like shit.
yeah. I mean, if I was like a country trying to take over the world, that'd be a top strategy to contend with, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to talk about with like TikTok? Do you have any other opinions, any hot takes on vertical fucking content? Because I can't think of anything else. I'm personally blanking. I just think it's bad. Phone bad though.
Hmm. Yeah, we're a very indulgent society, huh?
Mm.
And I think that this is contributing to that pretty significantly. Because if you're snowballing like just general habits, it's like a cornerstone bad habit, you know, that just snowballs into other poor habits. Because if you're scrolling all day, of course you're not going to go to the gym. And if you see like women on your phone, why would you like improve yourself to go find a woman outside your phone?
Yeah.
It's pretty scary to me. Yeah, I'm pessimistic and like cynicism
No,
in
I
that way.
definitely agree. And I don't even think that came from because this is like the I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard you say that because I didn't really watch your streams, but I sort of like came to that conclusion without just by like doing my own research by reading and whatnot. Yeah, we're like if you think about like the amount of like insult culture now, like like it's fucking weird, dude. It's so weird.
Yeah, I actually find it pretty fascinating. I was reading a lot about it, like with
There's also
Elliot
great
Rogers
documentaries on it.
and Alex Manassian, and I read a few like feminist books about it too. This one in particular called like Men Who Hate Women by the author is called Laura Bates, I think. And yeah, I wouldn't say it has to do much with TikTok, but TikTok definitely contributes to that snowball effect.
Yeah, that's more what I meant by I don't think TikTok is a direct cause of that. I think it's more the I would say it's more like people spend more time on their phones, less time actually socializing, and those people who are insecure can indulge in those insecurities more just by going on their phone and talking to other people who are also insecure, if not more insecure than them, and then it just leads to um it just sort of leads to like this circle. And people always end up in circles. Like and people always go through these cycles where they just loop. And I've definitely been through those because I've struggled a lot throughout my life with mental health and whatnot. Like I'm diagnosed with ADHD and OCD, and I feel like it doesn't help. Like it's good to find people that like you can connect with, but it's also very harmful to constantly being connected to those people instead of actually like experiencing things that happen outside of like your 6-inch screen.
Yeah, what's kind of amazing is I think like there has been a big rise in ADHD because of social media and
I
video
believe it.
games.
I believe it. But I'm on medication and it's helping me a lot. I'm on it right now just so then I don't completely go all over the place during this interview. And I feel like I am a little all over the place, but it would be like a million times worse. Um, just to move away from TikTok and getting too pessimistic about our fucking society. Um, what got you into ThinkPads and Linux, man?
Uh, So I probably should have looked closer at your document. 'Cause
You
I didn't
said,
really
you said, oh yeah, it
find
looks
anything.
good.
Yeah, I
As your
kind of
words.
glanced over it, but I figured it was probably all right.
No, don't worry.
Yeah, the ThinkPad thing, like my old roommate at the time. Okay, I get like a lot of technology. Like I have like this chair from this Herman Miller Aeron that I got for like $200, and I get like computers for like $20.
Didn't you
And
get
like
another one for 45?
yeah, actually I got it for $50 from the spot, and it's like a university surplus store.
I wish I had
Like
one.
my university is like a large school, and they decommission technology every 4 years or 5 years on a cycle. Same with furniture.
I love that, man.
So I get like a lot of really good deals, and I took my friend there once, and we were doing like it was sometimes whenever there's multiple people going after an item, they'll auction it off.
Mm.
And he was trying to get a new laptop, and uh, he liked ThinkPads because he saw it in like the coding community. And then he actually sold me that ThinkPad, and then that was a X1 Carbon Gen 1.
Mm.
And then from there, I started like appreciating the design elements, and then got an X220. This was as a freshman, so
It's the gateway, carbon to X220, and then you all go downhill from there. Because that's the same. That's my ThinkPad pipeline too. I have an X1 Carbon Gen 3 in my closet over there, but I don't use it because the keyboard is broken. Like for some reason, I think it's Q, A, and Z don't input anything, and the keyboard isn't intuitive to open up like on the X220, so I just haven't bothered with it. And then I got an
mm,
X220. Wait, no, I got an X61, then an X220. But I bought the X220. The X61 was actually a gift.
oh yeah, I actually took the X220 on an internship to Australia for 3 months as my only computer, and it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I was like impressed because I hadn't actually been using it for that long, but um, yeah, the third gens are actually really good computers. I feel like if you were to
220 is
fix
second
it,
gen.
the X1 Carbon.
Oh, the X1 Carbon. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. The X220 that I have is a second gen i7, so that shit gets like hot.
I also
R-
have the same one. Yeah.
I think I got mine because of you, but I don't have a 9 cell battery. I have a 6 cell, and just a curiosity question. Have you ever like tried making your own batteries for ThinkPads?
Yeah, I'm actually actively researching it. I have a bunch of tabs open on my phone downstairs. I was looking into different battery controllers because I'm trying to create a custom battery for my custom ThinkPad.
Yeah, I was
Because
gonna
right now
say, because you said
it's
you had
really
like
much.
1.5 hours or something.
Yeah, and it's it's held in with duct tape, and the cells are just spot welded by someone off of Taobao, which is like Chinese Amazon.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where the controller is off of. So there was this guy who open sourced the battery for a, I forget what it's the laptop with the butterfly keyboard. I always forget what it's called for some reason. The one that slides out. It's like a something something
The
something.
one that slides out?
The ThinkPad with the butterfly keyboard. Yeah.
Oh, the one that goes like this?
Mm.
I forget the name of that, but I
It's a
know what you're
701C. And he
Yeah,
open
yeah.
sourced a controller, and I was trying to adapt that. So I was researching different cells, but it's really ghetto if you mess it up. Like if you don't use high enough gauge wires to solder them together, like it will actually catch on fire. And it's like a really big explosion too. So I was just trying to make sure I do this right with
Yeah,
like
and not blow up your unique three in the world exist.
yeah, I'm trying to source some like donor motherboards that I can would be cool with exploding. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then I actually just barely got a 3D printer, so been
Ooh.
messing around with CAD a lot.
Where the fuck do you have room for all this? Cuz
I
like
have an
your room is
office.
already packed.
Yeah, actually, I moved out, so I have an
Oh, you did?
office. Um,
Let's go.
yeah, I've been living yeah since like my jvscholz channel. I moved out to a different spot.
Well, I know that you don't live in your apartment anymore. You live with like
Yeah,
your grandmother.
yeah,
But I
and
was more talking about like your Cause like you showed off your setup, and even that looks like pretty like packed.
It's been reduced in complexity. There's only
Okay.
one desk down there,
Only one now?
and yeah, I'm just running a KVM, so everything's just going to one monitor.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually a really chill spot now. There was too much shit before, 1000%.
Yeah, you had two big ass desks.
Mm.
Do you still use that Apple Cinema?
Yeah, it's a
I
really good monitor. I got it on. There's like a local version of Craigslist for like $20.
I got
So
mine because I have an Apple Cinema. I'm not using it right now, but I did use an Apple Cinema for a while. I'm thinking about using it again after my CRT kicks the bucket. And I got it for I think 80 to 100 off of. It's weird because like the story behind that Apple Cinema is like I got it off of some guy on Kijiji. Kijiji is like
yeah,
the
I know
Canadian version. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got it off of Kijiji off of this guy, and I didn't know because like I have a really close friend, and his parents have been split for like years, like since like I knew him, and his dad's a weird fuck. But I didn't know this. I went to go pick it up in like Brampton and Brampton, Mississauga, and it was his dad, and he's really into like 2012 unibody MacBooks and like old Apple shit. I'm like, that's based, but you're like not a good person. But I still
Yeah,
bought it
gotta
off
get
him. I still
laptops.
bought it
Gotta
off
get
him. So it's weird.
laptops.
I have his dad. I have his biological dad, like his number on my phone. um, yeah. So straying away from the fuck, I don't even know what we were talking about. We just sort of went down with ThinkPads. Do you
Oh
have
yeah,
a favorite ThinkPad?
yeah. So my favorite chassis is the X61, but I actually am using like a X1 Nano at the
Mm.
moment. The only reason I got this because I like lowballed someone on eBay and they accepted it.
Ooh,
I've been trying to
that's the
get one for
best.
months, but yeah, I lowballed 200 under his offer and he actually accepted it. So I
God
guess I'm
damn.
an X1 Nano guy. So I'm like getting the ultra portables. So like I just like the X61, the X1 Nano, like the 12 inches, 12,
Yeah,
13 inches.
I because I saw that you used a Hackintosh, but I was too lazy to build my own Hackintosh. So instead, I got this like 15-inch unibody MacBook off of Kijiji for like $200, and then I just put in new RAM and an SSD, and it's really good. But one of the USBs don't work on it because the logic board's fucked up, and the SD card doesn't work on it because that's also fucked up.
My
And it
X20 also has a broken USB port. It's
Hold up.
weird.
I'll pull it up right now because it has like the matte screen, so it's actually like really sick. But I just don't use it anymore because I got the X61 from a friend, and like this is like super fucking heavy. Like this is a chonker. This is like I have a Wii for comparison. Like this Wii is lighter than that fucking laptop. Um, if you could make a short tier list on ThinkPads, what would you rate? At least in like your top five.
X61, but mine is like really modified.
So
It's called an
let's say
X61 H10.
X61 like X60 type laptops.
Yeah, X61 and then X1 Nano. And then from the, I'm not really interested in like the larger ones, to be honest.
Really, even like the X201.
Yeah, it's okay. I
God
like the
damn.
X220 more than the X201, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, the
I'm the
keyboard
opposite.
feels better for me at least.
Okay. I don't own an X21. It's X201. I just like how it looks. Because I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of 16 by 9.
Yeah, the bezels are really large on the X201, but
Mm.
it's a good laptop. I mean, it's still a really good laptop. T420 is the best. I have a T420. Yeah. I just like I really like having a light backpack. So I'm not trying to carry around
Like too many
chunky.
ThinkPads.
Yeah.
I remember
I
at
don't
one point you
really.
used two.
Did I? I
Yeah,
guess I
it
had
was
a
like I think it was in like
220
your iPad
X61.
video, like your iPad Mini.
I guess I probably had like a X62 in that video.
Hmm.
But for the rest, I don't have a. I only like the ultra portables. So X61, X220, X1 Nano. The X1 Carbons are good. I'll probably get a lot of flack for this, but yeah, I've been into ThinkPads for like five years now. That's just what my tastes are.
Hmm. Do you have like because we sort of talked about how you got into ThinkPads. Like, what got you into Linux?
Uh, the same dude that gave me the laptop had Ubuntu installed on it, and I actually thought Linux was kind of weird, but I don't know, I'm just a curious cat, I guess, so I just kept on using it.
My story is actually pretty similar. It was actually in I think I'd heard about Linux from a friend. I still know him to this day. He used Linux Mint on like this shady ThinkPad. Like it was like the E series, so it's like 15 inches and like chonky as shit.
The
And
budget boys.
it was so disgusting. And on top of that, it didn't have an SSD, and it like had like 4 gigs of RAM, and he had Linux Mint installed in it because his dad is like really into Linux. And
Mm.
my preconception of Linux was him trying to play Counter-Strike on that computer and it not loading like 90% of the things on the map. Like Dust 2 was like basically X-Ray, and it was running at 4 FPS because of like a non-existent graphics driver. So I was like, damn, Linux sucks. And then in grade 10, I took a computer hardware class where we had to use like Ubuntu 14.10 LTS to build like our own servers and run like T worlds, which was fire. And then after that, I had a Chromebook, and on Chromebooks you can use Crute to install like to sort of like parallel run like Linux onto it. So I used Unity on that for a while. That's actually like in grade 10 I programmed basically everything on my Chromebook, and it was like basic web design. And then after that I used Antergos, which is like decrepit now, and then I just switched to Mint. I never got into Arch. I know you're an Arch user.
Yeah, I'm an Archie boy. I used Ubuntu for like 3 years before switching though.
Well, if you can give me a second, I actually really need to pee.
Oh yeah, you're cool. Yo, you guys see that Argentina won the World Cup? They won in penalties, 4-2. Oh, I'm sad. I wanted Mbappe to win another one, but oh well. What's up, Rocky? I want to buy a minimum phone, but I don't know what I want to buy. If you're still here, Shad, what's your budget? Where are you? And what's up? I don't know if you're here either. I think you're like packing for Germany or something. Going to Germany for vacation. I guess it is Christmas or something. That'd be cool though.
I'm back. I'm one of the fastest peers in the East Coast. I speedrun that shit. Yeah, you're an Archie boy. I tried using Arch on the X61, but it wouldn't install my network driver, and I was frustrated. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll use Debian. Debian also wasn't loading a non-free driver, even though I thought I was using a non-free ISO. And I was like, I hate my life. And then I went back to Mint because I just got really, really frustrated. But I actually did buy, I have this over here. It is it's a 7260 HMW, like the network card. So I'm probably gonna install that, like put custom BIOS on my X220. I didn't do it for a while because the software you need to use to install custom BIOS, like you need to use a Windows specific program in order to burn it to a USB. And both this computer and this computer behind me both ran Linux, so pain.
Mm. I think you can flash ISOs that have the updated BIOS.
It's not an ISO. It's something else.
There's like an exe, and then usually there's also an ISO, but that's weird though.
From what I remember, it was only an exe. And I remember asking, I was on r/thinkpad, and they were just like, yeah, you can only do this on Windows. It's weird, but.
Oh, okay.
I was
I
like,
haven't done it in a while.
So moving on from Linux and ThinkPads, do you like in terms of feature phones? What are you using right now? Like, what are your daily drivers? Because you experiment with a lot. From what I last saw, you're using a Punkt. What is your current like EDC for like feature phones?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it. It's like a. It's
Oh
called a
shit!
Japanese keitai. I guess I was listening to an audiobook on it. But yeah, I'm making a video for my other channel right now about dumb phones, and I'm trying to like find interesting phones that people would be like actually interested in outside of like the whole sphere. And Japanese flip phones are definitely.
They're so good.
I think people would find that interesting, and I hope to kind of expand that into general discussion to see if I can get people into the whole digital minimalism thing. But yeah, I do experiment a lot with different dumb phones. I don't necessarily think that you need a dumb phone to be intentional with what you use on your smartphones or whatever, but
It's a lifestyle choice.
yeah, and it works for me due to like a variety of reasons that probably wouldn't work for other people. So, but yeah, I've been using the Keitai for like a month.
Do the bands work well in your area?
Yeah, so this one specifically works. I have a few others that don't work, and I'll kind of talk about that in the video as well.
Okay. Are you just running the Keitai, or are you running anything else? Like aside from the Keitai, like do you ever switch over to like an iPhone?
Yeah, so I actually have two phone numbers, and one of them is always in an iPhone, and that's what I give to people who ask me for my phone number. And then I daily like a Keitai with a different phone number that only like I guess my ex-girlfriend has, and then
That was unfortunate to hear.
but yeah, like just nobody has it, so I can just be okay if I need to call someone, but also not be easily reached.
Yeah. Do you have it like so then your phone number is private when other people call you on that SIM card specifically?
No, but
Oh,
I just don't call people that often.
okay. Like how much a month do you pay on phone plans? Because I was thinking about doing the same thing, but I don't know if you know this, but in Canada we sort of have like a triopoly on our cell services, so it's expensive for like comparison to what you pay in the U.S. compared to like compared to like what you get for what you pay in the U.S. compared to what I get for what I pay in Canada. It's like night and day. Like it's horrible. Like how much do you pay per month on phone plans?
For the dumb phone, I use this thing called an MVNO. I don't know if you heard of those before. It's a mobile virtual network operator, and they lease bands from larger companies. So here in America, we have T-Mobile, like Verizon, AT&T, and they like are a lot cheaper. So for the dumb phone, I pay 15 a month for unlimited.
Like calling and texting, or just
Yeah,
texting?
yeah, everything, but I don't really utilize that at all. But yeah, 15.
And then for the iPhone?
I don't pay for that plan.
Oh, okay. Cause for me, fucking my phone plan has cause with your what are they called, MVMOs?
MVNO,
NV or MV?
like mobile
Oh,
virtual.
MV.
I know.
I know, MVNOs. MVNOs don't really exist here because of the monopoly. So if a company wants to buy out like towers and bands, they need to go with only one company. So instead of having MVNOs, we have subsidiaries. So every single phone carrier is partnered with another cell company. So like Freedom Mobile is what I use. Freedom Mobile I'm pretty sure is with Shaw, which is like one of the big 3. And my old internet service provider used to be with like Bell, but it was like a subsidiary of that. And basically all what it is like you pay cheaper but you get lesser bands, but because Canada is so big and broad and like in our land space, if I were to leave the greater Toronto area, I would get no service because they can only purchase a certain amount of cell towers from only one specific cell carrier, which is really ass. And it makes everything really expensive. Like, I don't know if you know about this, but we just had. Did you hear about Canada losing 1/3 of its like cell service? Like, I think this year or last year?
No, I didn't hear about that.
We had a big outage because one of the big 3 went out entirely, which proves that you shouldn't have a monopoly on your cell towers because we lost all banking and all like anything you need to purchase, you couldn't do it anymore. And 1/3 of our entire population uses Rogers, and so that means no internet, no calling and texting for them. And if you're out and about, um, all Interac like banking transfers are done on Rogers servers, so they were all out for like a day or two, which bad idea. Don't run a monopoly on our lives. Anyways, enough me getting pissed off about Canada. If you were to give like a current like list or like top 5 of feature phones at the moment, what would you say? And why is the Light Phone 2 at the very bottom? Because I know you don't
uh,
like it, and the Mudita, but that's fair.
yeah, so I've experimented with a lot of dumb phones, and it kind of depends on what you value, because different phones have different like goals or objectives, right? Some of them are more like all I want to do is color text, and some of them are more like I also want to be able to use Spotify and have GPS.
Like the F21.
Yeah, that's a common phone. Um, and actually, I gave that to a friend who she really likes it actually.
I don't use mine because I need to type in too many languages, and traditional T9 is not intuitive at all.
Yeah, I would say like the favorite phone I've used so far is this one called the TCL Flip 2.
I
I don't know
saw
if,
you like that.
I don't know if you heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah, I have.
it's a really inexpensive phone that it's running AOSP, which is like a stripped down version of Android without Google Play services. So you can run apps on it, and it's inexpensive, and it has USB Type C mobile tethering, like a browser if you need a camera,
Really?
sports emojis, group texts. And these are all like they sound like basic features, but on a lot of dumb phones, they actually don't have a lot of those.
Yeah. Um.
Th-
Yeah, I have one that's similar to that, but like similar form factor is like Alcatel Flip 3, but the
I think
Flip
it's
3
running KaiOS,
it's
right?
running Kai and it's really ass because it picks your languages based on your region. So because my Go Flip 3 is a Canadian Go Flip 3, I can only pick English and French. So if I need to text my mom who I message in Spanish, I can't, which is
Yeah.
ass. So TCL Flip 3, I mean TCL Flip 2.
Uh, I don't know. I like the Punked, but it's a really controversial phone. I'll read
It is.
reviews, and one person will say they love it, and the next person will say it's like the worst phone they've ever used. But actually, I like the design. It's just really expensive.
Yeah.
I've had no issues with it personally. It's a little bit buggy sometimes, but nothing that I wouldn't expect out of like a niche product, you know?
Yeah. Like you have to go in
Um,
with your expectations.
And it supports a variety of languages actually. I just don't really like the. It's like a wedge design where it like sits not flat
Yeah,
on your
I
desk.
didn't know it was a wedge. It looks so dumb, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
and
look
I'm
like
just not
comfortable.
into that. Um, but I do enjoy the phone overall. The punch is pretty good. The K-tie is definitely something that I would not give to one of my friends who's not ready for it. It's just kind of quirky, you know,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it. It's a really nicely built phone. It's made in Japan and it feels solid. So the K-tie probably F-21's pretty good. This just doesn't work that well in America, unfortunately. F-21, F-22, they're like early
Even in
nice looking
Canada.
phones. The bands just aren't there because it's made for the Chinese market, but I would say the design is pretty good. I've used like the light phone too, and I still have it. And I've used the Midi to Pure, which I sold to another YouTuber. The Midi to Pure is actual land waste. Like
It
I,
is.
I backed it. I remember backing it when I got my Nokia in like 2018 or whatever.
Holy shit.
I got it for like $200 less than what it retails for, and I was still really disappointed. It was so bad.
I remember
Um,
Jose making his video on it.
that's my phone. That's the phone I sold him.
Jose's using your Pure.
Yeah, that's my phone because I
Oh
was
my
one of the earliest.
god.
Because I was like literally like I was the early super early bird backer on Kickstarter because I actually that's the only thing I've ever backed on Kickstarter, and it was a piece of let's say like an actual practical joke. Like it's so bad.
It is. It's like it looks cool, but that's it. It looks cool on the desk. It looks cool for photos. It looks cool for EDC photos, but like
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
like so many issues. You can't even call or text people. There's like a long road ahead for that company, and they're just not focused. They're like releasing like watches and like alarm clocks and shit.
Yeah, I saw that. That was so weird. Focus on
And
your
I'm just
fucking phone.
like frustrated at that company in general because they have a good idea. It's just incompetent leadership, and I would want to just go in there and yell at them. What are you doing, bro? Like this is a movement that's important to me, right? And this is what they're doing to it. So I don't know. I just get kind of angry whenever I
What
think about
if
that phone.
what if you wanted to text someone but God said and then it's just all the ASCII boxes because it doesn't fucking load text.
No, I wish I could show you this. I was filming a video about it. I lost some of the footage
I
because
remember you were going to release a video on it and I asked you about it in like April.
oh yeah.
Fucking
And yeah,
exposed.
it was just
My
such a
bad.
garbage device. And I used the iPhone for a little bit. It's just way too hipster for me and doesn't work well enough to justify it. Like it's using micro USB and
Yeah, I
it's
don't
slow
like
to
that.
reload. I'm not a fan of the texting implementation. I'm actually pretty fast on T9, but just texting on it's frustrating. Call quality, the battery life for a long time was really bad because I'm in the basement, right? And
Mm.
the phone has an issue where if it's roaming for services, it goes down like 10% an hour. It's pretty ridiculous. So I didn't even get like 5 hours idling on it. I still have
Holy
it for some
shit.
reason, but they actually recently released an update where it has Wi-Fi calling, and because of that, I do get reception, and the signal is a lot better now, and the battery life in conjunction is a lot better.
I feel like the light
Um,
phone like company itself is like it's very niche, very hipster, but it's at least like doing things.
I've listened to a few interviews with the main guy who runs it. I think his name is Joe.
He's also
Uh,
very active on Reddit.
he is active on Reddit. I've read a few of his responses, like talking about why the phone's so expensive and stuff. And a lot of people actually like the phone, but I don't know. I just can't recommend it to someone that I think is my friend, you know?
Yeah. Can you
Like,
would it be possible to like or would it be too difficult like how easy it is to take it apart and just solder in a custom USB-C controller?
into the light phone.
Yeah. Has anyone done
Uh,
that?
there's no visible screws, so you'd have to
Uh
like
like use a heat gun.
unglue it. Yeah, e-ink in general is kind of delicate. I don't know. No one's tried it, but like the physical size of the device limits the USB-C port.
Mm.
Like they originally on the Kickstarter promised USB-C and had to go back on that because the port was too big for the device.
Fuck man.
Yeah.
Have you thought about using this is not on my list, but have you thought about using any Hisense e-ink phones before?
Yeah, so there's a few of them, A5, A7, A9, A6L. I had an A6L for a little bit.
The A6L looks so cool. Like I would never use it, but it just looks cool because of the dual screen.
Yeah, that one's like its gimmick. But if I were to get a Hisense phone, I think the only viable one for our market is the A9. But I already have a Hisense Touch. Apparently, it actually works in America like pretty well.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know the
I
touch
just
can be used as a phone.
oh no, the A9.
Oh, the
Like
A9.
I
Okay.
already have a touch, so I'd have to justify like having a touch and an A9. And I don't really like having a camera on the back of the device like that. It's just kind of an eyesore. I don't like the color of it. It's like slate gray, and I like the silver on my device better.
Yeah, yours looks sick. I want to get a touch just so then because I would just use it as an iPod because I got into old iPods for a bit, so I have a few of them, but I haven't been using them as of recent just because I just built a lot of Spotify playlists for studying, and I've just been going off of those. Um,
Uh, But yeah, the A9 also the processor in theory is has like exploits where you can jailbreak it, but no one's done it yet. It's just too niche of a device.
mm,
So it currently doesn't have Google Play services, which I would want in a device like that. So I've just been holding off.
until like someone can like exploit it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the bans for it. I cannot find bans for it. Never mind. I'll look for this later. Oh wait, no, I found it. Oh yeah, this works on my These LTE bands work on my service provider. They're about the
Yeah.
same as the F21, but the
Um,
F21 I had problems with location, so it was really weird. Like it was like the location was usable, but it like it would instead of getting my precise location, it would get my general location. So it would just say I'm at my university campus, and then it would give me directions from my university campus to a place, but it wouldn't like actively track.
that's weird. But yeah. Like the A9, I would say like is actually a really solid device for what it offers for like this lifestyle that is probably congruent with like the whole digital minimalism philosophy.
I definitely agree. I wish we had more of them. I wish we had like some sort of like base for that here in like North America at least, instead of having to like rely on like these Chinese companies to release something that hopefully works somewhat decently on our bands.
Mm.
Um, just like quickly, thoughts on the Kindle Scribe?
Yeah. Um, it's interesting, you know. I don't really like Kindles.
Mm. Cause I'm a
I
big
like
Kindle fan.
yeah. I got my first Kindle was actually a gift from my dad. That's like one of the only things he ever gave me. But
Fuck dads. Fuck dads. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I have like my own like library of like books already, so I'm
Mm.
not. I never have bought like a book off of Amazon. Just loading your books onto Kindles is kind of annoying.
I'm
And
pretty
like,
ghetto with it, so I don't know. I got used to it. I don't have a library, so
are you just using Calibri and like LibGen?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
I used to use it was that service that just got shut down.
Yeah. Z Library.
Yeah, I use that lib.
So like, yeah, I guess it's just like the pipeline isn't that convenient, and like it has like most of the devices up till now have like USB micro, which I guess I like old technology. I just don't like micro
No,
USBs.
that's completely fair. Micro USB is absolute horseshit.
Yeah, it just feels like the technology, like the design, like the product design, because they have a monopoly on the North American market, just hasn't progressed to the point where I would want to be seen with using that device.
It
Just
uses USB-C though.
the new ones do,
The
but
new ones,
still the
old ones,
overall
no.
design looks the same from 10 years ago, you know?
That's very true.
I actually had a Kindle keyboard that I got from the thrift store for $5, and it was actually really good. I enjoyed it, but then the screen cracked when it was in my backpack, so I stopped using
Uh,
it. And the replacement screen is more than the device is worth, so
yeah,
kind of told with it. The
yeah,
Kindle Scribe, though, I mean, on one hand, I'm excited that a large company that's in the North American market is producing an e-ink device that you can take notes on, right?
yeah,
But I don't know. I just don't like Kindles. I have a small essay that I wrote about it that I was gonna make a video about,
ooh,
because like I really enjoy e-ink devices, right? And we as like Americans, like North Americans, right, don't like haven't seen the full potential of these devices that they have in
definitely.
China, like in general. And I've been using like Chinese e-ink devices. I have one in the mail right now for like 2 years. So yeah, the Scribe, I guess, bittersweet. The hardware itself, apparently, it's built really well. I just don't like the overall design language. The left bezel is too large, and it looks uninspired in general, but it's built well. Apparently, the pen is really good. The
Because
software
it's a
is really
Wacom pen.
fast-paced. Yeah, it's a Wacom EMR pen. So I actually thought about getting the pen for my books devices.
Um,
Um, Yeah, the note taking is basically non-existent, and you can't mark up EPUBs, Mobies, like anything. You can only kind of mark up PDFs.
yeah,
Frustrating, you know.
that like, cause like I was like, because I saw the Scribe came out, and I was like, cool, Amazon is doing something, and then I looked at like, good e-readers review on it, and I was like, wow, this is
You
not,
should listen
this
to
is
them. They're
not.
on a good channel.
They are really not a good channel, and they're from Canada. So, and I am very disappointed that they are Canadian. Why are you from here? Get out of here. I don't want you. I don't want you in my YouTube scene, dude. I
But
don't.
yeah, yeah, I feel
It's
you.
it's they. I remember in one of their videos because like they're. I don't think they're very open to like criticism.
Hell no. You should look like they in the recent video they called themselves a tech company, and someone called them out, and then they responded, and the last line in the response is XD. Like they're 12-year-olds. Like, what
I
kind of company is this?
what kind of company puts like wait was it all caps?
Yes, all caps XD. We're
Bro,
a
I
tech.
wrote that in like grade 6.
Yeah, right. So I don't. They're a bunch of clowns, dude. But I get it. It's like not many sources for e-reader news. So what can
Yeah.
you do?
Like I remember it was for like Xiaomi made the ink palm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was really wanting to get an ink palm 5 because it's like the cheapest thing, very entry. So I was looking at reviews for the Xiaomi ink palm 5, and they always say like Xiaomi, and I said in the comments like or like Chow me, and I'm like, bro, why are you saying it like that? And he's like, wow, you guys are so picky. I'm like, bro, what? You're a company that reviews like overseas products. Like at least give the company like the respect of like pronouncing their name correctly. Like and it like and if you get called out, like don't be ignorant about it. Or don't be like it's not like I'm personally attacking you. Like calm down.
Yeah, pretty shit channel. They're
It's
like
so
spreading
cluttered too.
misinformation in one of their videos too about the 10-cent pocket, and kind of got upset.
Because you are a big 10-cent pocket fan.
I like it. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but
Oh,
there's
okay.
not that many that many choices, you know. And like of the few, I'm pretty passionate about being able to read on the go. So when they spread misinformation and like dissuade someone who could be like a potential reader, you know,
Like
it
a
kind of,
potential next James.
yeah, or just someone who wants to just be more intentional with how they spend their time, like not scrolling Instagram while they're outside. It kind of makes me mad.
Yeah. I like I also want to get a pocket e-reader just because of that. Just got I'm getting AirPod Pros for Christmas just so then I can take like this is my phone, an iPhone 11, and I hate having it in my pocket all the time, and I also hate cuz like I don't you can't see this properly. Maybe you can. No, you can't. For some reason my lightning port just keeps on getting rusted, and I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Is
so
it humid where you are?
yeah.
Oh,
That's why I think. So I've already had to replace my phone once. So
never heard of that issue before
it's
though.
so
Weird.
weird. Like if it's it like because it's the winter time, I wear like a big jacket, and like even if it's not the winter time, like you get static electricity, and any static that touches my phone will short my headphones. So I need to unplug them and plug them back in to like reconnect the circuit to like restart listening to music. And when I used to go on long walks, sometimes it would have that happen where I would just constantly cut out of listening to a podcast. So I just want to like be more intentional and just like throw my phone into like my bag. And if I want to read, I can pull out like like a high sense touch, for example, to like read and whatnot, or even use hi-fi shit because I do have IEMs that I like, but I haven't been using them for a while.
Mark KZ's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I figured.
My Zex are broken because actually, if you give me a second, I'll grab my Zex. But I used to use like ZSNs got me into IEMs essentially. I feel like that's a very common thing since they're very entry. Just give me 1 second.
You can use libgen instead of zlib. Yeah, I use libgen actually more than zlib. But oh, what language do you code in the most? I would say C++ and Python. How do you keep yourself consistent? What are your thoughts on consistency?
Be consistent.
I would highly recommend turning whatever you're trying to do into a habit as much as possible. Because if it's a habit, you'll just are biologically bound to do it, you know? There are many ways to do that. Maybe check out Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's a few other resources about it, but that's probably the central one.
People over at my screen right now, the top part of my driver, the glue, the adhesive wore off.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So like, this is the normal one. The top part fell off. So
Just duct tape it.
Motherfucker. I'm gonna super glue it again. That's what I'm gonna do.
I've never seen that.
I don't know what happened. I think because I forgot I'm using this mic. I think it's because I just like my bag is basically hell and it's always been like that, so just things have broken in my bag.
Makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Is there any specific reason behind because I find your channel to be very interesting and I've sort of adopted your style to your channel, like the yellow Times New Roman, I don't know, I think is really aesthetic. Reminds me of like closed captioning. So like your eye just sort of gets dragged to it. And just I like Times New Roman as a font. But also the fact that it looks like you don't put a lot of effort into like videos. They're very, not to say that you don't put effort into them, but like they're very chill and welcoming. Like you're just having a conversation to someone, or you're just listening to someone talk to you, instead of like it being like Mr. Beast. Like, I spent $8 million on an island. The last person to leave this island wins. You're like, yo, what's going on? Let's talk about digital minimalism. And then like your thumbnails, for the most part, for like aside from like your study with me videos, they were just a selfie you took at the time or something, or like a part of the video. Is there any like intentionality behind this sort of like style to your channel?
Yeah, I only like serif fonts, bro. So I don't like
Based?
I don't like Arial, Calibri, none of that. So whenever like my teammates write in those fonts, bro, I just don't take it seriously. So that's one thing, I guess. The yellow is kind of just like contrasts well.
Yeah, because it pops out.
Serious as white. More inviting.
It's like warmer.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it from my perspective here, my channel started off as like a kind of a marathon. So if you're trying to be constantly high intensity, high octane energy, wear yourself out pretty quick, right?
Yeah. So that's sort of like bled into like your other channels and other content, like keeping that same sort of mellow, I guess, personality.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of not that high octane of a person most of the time in real life. So I
I
mean,
sort of got that from you.
yeah. I usually I don't really think of myself as a YouTuber, to be honest. Like,
That's fair.
the videos are just kind of something I crapped out, and I guess people liked it. I really like my goal from the very start was like 100K, and I reached that a while ago.
And then you
uh,
made the why I study video.
that's actually why I reached 100K.
I remember
Um,
hearing that.
it was on my I uploaded it. I wanted to reach 100K by my birthday, and I uploaded it. My birthday is on April 27th, and I uploaded it on April 20 like 4th or something, and then I was at like 80K, and I was like, fuck, I'm not reaching 100 by my birthday. But
Woke up the
then
next day.
yeah, the video like kind of popped off, and it got 1 million views, and I was like, oh crap, we might actually hit this 100K.
Fun fact, I was actually supposed to be born on, I think, the 27th or the 28th. But I was born early. I was born on the 17th. So we're like 10 days apart, but also 2 years apart.
That'd have been cool, man. We've been
Birthday
birthday
buddies.
brothers. Yeah.
I got some people who share a birthday with me, and it's not fun. They're very controversial people. One of them is not controversial, actually. Did you ever used to watch Minecraft when you were younger?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Deadlocks?
Nope.
Okay, never mind. He was like he was like friends with, like, Sky does Minecraft.
I didn't watch kind of Minecraft.
Okay, that's good. He's a sketchy person now.
Okay.
All right. So straying away from the technology part, this is the I want to talk about Japanese in Japan because you are interested in Japanese in Japan. I'm literally looking at your background right now and I'm reading the days of the week in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
interested in Japan.
so was there any reason like what got you into Japanese? Because from what I remember from a podcast that you did with like what is it called? Kore kora? Kora kore?
Mm,
Kore kore?
これから.
Kore kara. Um Japanese was sort of like your love child of studying. Like you just sort of studied that and that was just like something that you became passionate about. Um could you like expand on that anymore, or is that just all what it is? Like you started studying Japanese and you really liked it.
Yeah, so that's what got me into studying was Japanese. I wasn't really into like the stuff that they were teaching at school.
Mm.
So in high school, yeah, I'll like read textbooks and stuff. Read Japanese textbooks. I just find the language really pretty,
It is really pretty.
even if it's not practical at all. It's
Being
yeah,
an
I just
American. Being
I mean just
American
like
and Vietnamese and you're learning Japanese.
I meant like the syntax and the language design is not well thought out.
Oh, okay.
Like
Uh,
if you look at Hangul or something, you can pick it up in a day. Like here we're studying kanji for like months before you can look at a newspaper and understand parts of it, you know?
yeah. I come from actually studying Korean. I studied Korean for about a year. So, I don't know. I actually switched from Korean to Japanese because of kanji. Because my brain works in a way where it's like if I see words that like mean the same thing, I get confused. Like I forgot the word for like two words that are spelt the same way but mean different things. I forget the word for that. And I'm a linguistics student, goddamn. But it was like I liked Japanese because of kanji, because then you can be more specific with how you read things. And like even if the reading is like the same or different, you can still sort of like make those distinctions. And that's what I liked about it. And then in terms of like the context and stuff, it being a part of like the Japonic and being near to like the Koreanic and similar to the Turkish, the Turkic, I forget their language family layout, like because they're all SOV languages. Um, it's unintuitive for like a native speaker like us, but there's a reason like they still use that word order. Like it works. It's just a different. So I don't know. That's like more like my linguistics take on Japanese. I'm a kanji nerd. I fucking love writing kanji. I'm a weirdo. I'm a sadist or a masochist. I love
I like kanji too. I think we can both agree it's not that practical though.
um okay. I don't know. Compared to like every other language, because like I don't think it's practical because other languages don't have this sort of three alphabet writing system, and then old derived kanji from like the Chinese, and other languages don't need to make that distinction, but I think it's that quirky thing that makes it appealing. But I don't like you're right, there doesn't need to be kanji, but it feels weird to read Japanese without kanji.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big part of like that's like integral to it for sure.
Yeah, like I started off Japanese on Duolingo, and they have a stories feature, which is very unintuitive because they hid the stories feature. So you actually have to like type in duolingo.com/stories in order to even get to stories because they're stupid. I actually have a whole video coming out on Duolingo. It's like 2,800 words. And for their stories section, because like on their lessons, they're very inconsistent with how they use kanji. And it randomly switches me from like hiragana to romaji when I don't want it to. So sometimes I log in and it's like romaji and I'm like, why? I don't like reading this. And then in the stories section, they don't use kanji. It's all hiragana. So it's like the way how a friend of mine described it, he's like JLPTN3. Reading Japanese without kanji is like reading English without spaces. Like it's very, like you can read it, but it's like you have to like get your head around it first.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling.
Yeah.
And the thing where like because I did send you the document, there is one thing that you read on the document. The garate. Garate is actually the word in Japanese for feature phone.
Oh, okay.
It has like there is a word in Japanese for feature phone, and because I was talking to a Japanese friend of mine, and I told her about I want to get like a Keitai phone, and she's like, "Oh, garate," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And she's like, "Feature like it's like a phone." I'm like, "Bro, katakana is supposed to make sense. What is this?" But it's because like there is this island near Ecuador that it's far from Ecuador, and they didn't have like contact with civilization for years, so they just sort of like evolved in their own unique way. So it sort of relates to the Galapagos Islands, where they just sort of like these phones sort of like formed independently of themselves in Japan compared to like the rest of the world. And I don't know, I just thought it was I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was cool. Staying on the topic of Japanese though, do you have any I know you talked a little bit about this with Kyo on your podcast, but do you have any plans of moving to Japan in the future possibly?
Yeah, that or Vietnam.
You go to Vietnam?
Yeah, I speak Vietnamese, so I could live there.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me, like I like my home country. Like it's not my home country, but I like Chile. But I would never think about living there because I think I have it good here. And if I'm not making like USD or Canadian dollars, I feel like I wouldn't survive very well. Like, if you're moving to Vietnam, would you do work in Vietnam or would you be doing remote work but just living in Vietnam?
Yeah, that'd be the plan. I could actually afford to move there right now and live like a king. Because the
third world
cost of living
countries.
is very low. But the intention would be to move there to just learn more about the world.
Mm. It's like kind of related to just like the cost of living in Vietnam being so cheap. It's the same in Chile. Like you can like if you have like $200,000 like American, you're basically set for life.
Mm.
It's like we are not economically good, and it's funny because in South America, it's sort of the thing where it's like Chile is the most economically stable country in South America, but it's really not saying a lot because it's South America. So yeah. Um, you already do CS contract work, right?
Uh,
Or have you just been working like wage under companies?
I mean, I've worked like internships,
Mm.
like as a freelancer. No, not really.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was just curious about that. This is something we kind of talked about earlier when relating technology and like TikTok and um like Chinese e-readers. But do you believe that technology practices used in Japan should be reintroduced or should be just introduced in general to the general public? Like, for example, these like feature phones that are flip phones that run standard Android and have like storage like expandable storage capacity and whatnot.
So,
Basically just dumb phones, just introducing dumb phones.
uh, have you been in Japan?
I have not. I have not even left the Americas. Farthest I've gone is Chile.
Yeah, I think the Japanese approach is pretty interesting. They're not as caught up in certain ways compared to here, but in other ways they're a lot more advanced. So
Mm,
it's not really like they're just behind in general. They're ahead in a lot of areas, and they're kind of stuck in their ways in other areas.
like their workforce.
Yeah, and their culture is kind of conservative like that.
mm,
Um, I appreciate the Japanese approach to things in general, where they really appreciate the craftsmanship and the intentionality that goes into their industrial design. Um, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like Japanese products tend to be very well thought out. The first
mm,
Thinkpad was made by a Japanese guy.
mm.
Um, and I really appreciate like Japanese watches and cars. They're durable and tend to be inexpensive, well, well like thought out. So I can appreciate, they make things that aren't designed to have a lifespan to them.
Or like
Um,
they have or you could also word it as they have their focus on products that are intentional and last in comparison to other companies which just try to pack gimmicks and features, but that could degrade the overall lifespan and or quality of the product.
I was thinking more about like planned obsolescence. So
That
if you
too.
look at a lot of phones, like they're designed to only last 2 years before you're kind of forced to upgrade due to like battery failures or
Phone contracts.
phone, like yeah, whatnot. Whereas in Japan, if my kid's high, I can order a new battery for it on Rakuten and have it shipped here. So it's pretty nice. But at the same time, I do try to be practical. Some of the ways that they do things is pretty outdated.
Mm. Do you think there is a need for digital minimalism in Western society, or for like minimal phones to be like marketed for like a wider audience? Even if the money isn't here right now, do you think it should be something to consider? Like for example, um, I would take a big example for this, which is the reason why I don't use a dumb phone right now. Is the traditional T9 being really really unintuitive because it's such an old piece of software. Like maybe like a developer to make maybe if there was like a developer to create like a new IME or to fork the traditional T9 in order to like make it more user friendly and add in more languages. Like maybe at that point native markets could pick up phones such as the Chin phone with like better bands or and like better user experience.
Yeah, interesting you bring that up. There's actually, for the F21, there's a custom build of the traditional T9 IME with like better language support.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I could show you, but I don't have my F21 on me. But like the way you find it is on a private Telegram group
Oh
where
my
you
god, I
have to
was
go
on that
through
private Telegram group.
1,000 messages before you find a pin message with cryptic file names. I was messing around with it, and it's like a lot better than the what Android 5 version of T9 IME. Um, it's interesting, man. If your technology is hard to, it's expensive to develop, and who's adopting your product? Hipsters and old people, right?
Yeah, because it's like most of the people will not get attached to it in the same sense that we would want to, because it would be us being focused on the intentionality behind it. But like if you look around, even in the YouTube space, lots of people are not really, they don't really worry about that intentionality, and they're still doing fine in life, so they have no reason to um focus on that intentionality or purchase such a niche device. But it's
Yeah.
interesting being in university where like I did when I did run the F21 for a little bit for like some days, like I got like lots of questions on it, and people were like generally interested, and they're like, where do I buy this and whatnot.
Mm-mm. Uh, I mean, you can live a life of indulgence and be perfectly average because that is the average, you know? And our society, we live in good countries where you can just put in the minimum effort and still not be, for like, for the most part, for a lot of people, you know, around us, you can like not worry about uh like whether or not you're gonna be able to eat tomorrow, you know?
Mm. Which is what I remember you talking about with your channel when you had like some videos made about you, how your critics were mainly people from these first world countries instead of these lesser like seen lesser countries in a sense that have really dense populations who that basically have to struggle through these academics in order to even have a chance of getting a normal job that someone in like North America could just sort of acquire either with or without a university degree. Like it's a very different landscape, and it's very I appreciate it a lot. I think it's really admirable that you like had taken that approach with your streams for that long, because that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. I guess like going to the original question though, like I'm sure everyone could use some sort of digital minimalism in their life. Just being more intentional with how you spend your time in general, I'm sure is a good way to approach things, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Um,
that includes like people from those countries as well.
yeah, like the guy in my chat who was complaining about, he's not in my chat today because he has exams, but he's a regular, and he comes in and he's like, he just complains about his screen time, and then he sent me like a screenshot of his screen time, and it's like 7 8 hours. I'm like, goddamn. And like my screen time's been going up recently just because I'm at a university. Oh, here he is. Never mind. He's in here. It's the one. um,
What's up, bro?
um, like my screen time gets high, but when it's time for me to actually like do pomodoros and do work, like I don't touch my phone at all. And I still use an Apple Watch. I made it very minimal, so I only accept like very few notifications at all, just to not distract me. So it's like the intentionality, even if you're not intentional all the time, even the start of the intentional of being intentional with what you do, I find very important. Even if you're not intentional all the time, it's still like it's a long process to building lifelong habits, and it has to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah, and like you mentioned that people at your university thought it was cool, yeah. Um, I've only had one person ever ask me about a dumb phone. Actually,
Really?
I don't know if I'm just hard to approach or something, but yeah, it was actually this girl walked up and she was curious, but that was it.
I don't know. I can't even tell if you're maybe because you're tall as shit. Like, and I'm actually not that tall. I'm like 5'8".
You're
So,
not sure.
hmm,
You're not sure.
I'm average. I'm average.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird because like most of my friends that are males are all taller than me.
Uh,
So just even by like an inch. So it's like unfortunate. But like, I don't know. I feel like I don't strike you as an unapproachable person. Maybe it's just like you're studying or something. You're in the zone. People don't want to disturb. You might look busy and whatnot. Or maybe like people recognize you and they just don't want to say anything. Because I know people from my university who are YouTubers who are actually bigger than me, but I just don't approach them. So it could be
yeah,
like a multitude of things.
but I would say that there is like a a resurgence in counterculture toward
Definitely.
like amongst our like Gen Z or whatever, like against social media and whatnot. So I would say my experience is probably abnormal. I would imagine that people who if they saw you using a dumb phone, they would understand why you were using it.
Mm. Because like
And
they're the same people who are getting like absolutely horrible screen times and like they have like 5 hours on Instagram. I recently just deleted all my apps, but I've kept YouTube on. But I need to like delete YouTube because like YouTube's addictive. I remember at one point you mentioned you had a YouTube addiction, and I'm definitely in that vein right now.
yeah, I would say for all the things I've been addicted to in life, YouTube is the most addictive thing I've been addicted to. Yeah.
Something that I've been doing that I'm going to start doing, I just need to like figure out how to work it out. Because on uBlock, you can like zap certain elements. So just adding it into my filters to like, if I open Instagram on my study computers, which are like my ThinkPads, or like my ThinkPad and like my desktop, like zapping away, like hide shorts and hide Instagram stories.
You can actually do that.
Is there like you can do that in uBlock? I don't know if there's like an extension that already does that. That already does that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I don't know if you can see this. If you look at my YouTube homepage, it's blank. Uh,
That's oh my god.
so that's how I usually use YouTube. I hide all the suggestions from the algorithm, and I usually hide my subscriptions as well.
mm,
Uh, and yeah, that way, like, you're not finding new things to click on. But
that's
yeah,
really
there is
smart.
a way to do that with a different plugin called DF YouTube.
Hold up. DF YouTube.
Yeah.
Is it on Chrome? It is on Chrome. I use Brave, but it still loads. Otherwise, how to
So yeah,
focus? Oh shit, that's cool. I will bookmark this because I'm not gonna use it on this computer. This computer I kind of need YouTube for. This is like
it doesn't block YouTube. It just blocks the suggested videos or
yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want to block.
But like this is the computer that I use if I want to be distracted and just be mindless for a bit.
Uh,
Then like this is when like I'll let myself indulge like at the end of the day like for like an hour or two, and then everything else is like basically at this desk where I want to hide everything and make sure I am intentional. Like most of the day if I'm studying, my phone is on my bed and I just forget it's there because it kind of blends in, and like I don't know, like object permanence, like it's gone, out of sight out of mind.
yeah, it makes sense. It reminds me of the Luddite Club formed in New York. Interestingly enough, I wouldn't really consider myself like a Luddite or
What is
like
a
someone
letter?
who. It's like someone who um, like I'm blanking really hard. You know those Amish people in Pennsylvania who just don't use technology?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are like Luddites
Oh,
and
okay.
certain Orthodox Jews. I'm pretty sure are considered Luddites. But I actually like technology. I'm an engineer in the technology space.
You're just
Uh,
interested into a different type of technology than most.
I love technology, right? Like technology should be improving our lives, but instead we see people using it for the wrong thing.
Well, I actually need to use the washroom again. I'll be back.
Yeah, you chill. But yeah, like technology is something I'm really passionate about, so it makes me sad when companies are exploiting vulnerabilities with it, you know? So I wouldn't really consider myself a Luddite, but yeah, I can see why people would want to be Luddites, 1000%. See, he probably left a while ago. Do you have a room without a window or sunlight? Yeah, my room's in the basement, but so there's not that much sunlight. It's pretty depressing. I would say make sure it's just well lit. I have a lot of lamps from the thrift store that I point up at the ceiling. And yeah, can you not leave the house to study as well? Go to the park or something. Setting boundaries and being mindful. I ask myself before using gadgets. Yeah, it's just like I think there's a certain point where you lose your willpower. And like once you lose your willpower, you just kind of give in. It's a finite resource, unfortunately, from my understanding of it at the moment. So like if you like have access to something on your phone that you know that eventually you will use, it's kind of dangerous.
So we gotta delete all the apps. Just only use them in the web browser. And it's a horrible time. It'll make you not use it. I know from experience. Instagram crashes on me like sometimes like 4 or 5 times while trying to load a DM.
That's weird.
It is weird.
But like I don't know, I know people who do that and they still just reinstall the app.
Yeah. I'm planning on keeping, because a friend of mine who's also in the YouTube space, he doesn't do like digital minimalism stuff, but he's just like a friend of mine that I knew from content creating from like a long time ago. And he just sort of like opened my eyes to like a new way of just like thinking about detoxing. Like instead of saying I'm never going to download it, just going day by day, like I won't use it for a week. All right, let's push it to another week. All right, let's push it to another week. I'm probably going to start doing that with social media, but like I'm pretty content with not using the apps. Like sometimes I just find myself not even remembering that they're there.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I personally, I've just found that like when you remove the ability to do something, you just won't do it. So might as well not even have the opportunity to even need to use willpower, you know?
Yeah. But then there is also that argument where it's like that's the sort of argument that people have who aren't into digital minimalism behind digital minimalism, which I don't really think there can even like there is an argument behind it. Like you're buying another device to do something less than what your device can do to distract yourself when you can just build a better mentality and relationship with your phone. But other people work in different ways and it's more of a lifestyle choice. So like if someone wants to do something differently from you than you do, like I see no problem with it.
No, that makes sense. I can understand like trying to develop your discipline or willpower or whatever. But I guess I'm just trying to stack as many cards in my favor as possible.
Yeah,
I
that's
think you
true.
can
That's what I like.
do those like in parallel, you know. You can not only remove your ability to be distracted, but also make yourself go to the gym through discipline, even when you don't feel like it.
Mm.
And no, like I don't know if you like put a piece of cake in front of me and you're like, don't eat it. I guess that's one way to do it, but I guess I'm just pessimistic. It's just I don't really believe in humans enough to think that they're not gonna eat it eventually.
No, I'm the same. I,
So
I I struggle a lot with it because kind of dark, but there was a while where I was in a bad place because things that were happening in my house, and I was basically just indulging in alcohol. And to this day, I just try to avoid sort of spaces like that because like it's the change in the environment, right? And I don't find myself thriving in an environment like that. I feel myself with the urge, which my urges are different than how other people manage their urges, but I still see it. Even though I see lots of things from different lenses, I still sort of see like human willpower from my perspective, and I just feel like trust no one. you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally believe in like discipline and developing it and trying to use willpower and stuff, but I don't see why you can't do both.
Mm.
So I don't know. Sometimes it feels like cope to me.
And in a lot of instances, it is cope because a lot of people don't practice what they preach.
Yeah. I mean, I know my numbers, and like there was a period of time where my screen time was under 5 minutes. So
Whoa.
like, um,
God damn.
on my iPhone, and like, so I don't. I just tell people what is working for me, and people will argue with me about it, but I'm not sure what to tell them. You know.
Like, it's working for you. What are you gonna do? Switch because someone has a differing opinion on how you're living your life and like improving? Like, it doesn't make sense in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. And like there was like a book, Still in Focus, P.O. and Hari. He talks about it a little bit. I mean, he tried to do the dumb phone thing and it didn't work out for him. He concluded that it's impossible. But I don't know. I've been doing it for 5 years and it worked out for me. So that's
Yeah.
what I'll tell people, you know?
It's like the way how I can compare it are people who, because there's lots of alternative lifestyles, especially in our current age. Like, I don't know if you know much about this, but I used to be really like my channel started and it was typing tests. And so I was really into typing, which also led me down the rabbit hole of just experimenting with like alternative keyboard layouts. And anytime I would like practice, my friends would be like, "Why are you doing that? That's weird." And I'm like, "But it makes my hands feel better. Like like I'm typing more comfortably." And I don't know, I'm sort of someone to um crumble under peer pressure. Not much anymore, seeing as like my channel is basically the exact opposite of what I used to be. Like, I used to never study. I would just sit down and play Melee all day. Um yeah, that's definitely improved, but I think like if something is working for someone else, you can question it, but just go about it in like a nicer way. Someone's asking if you code on pen and paper. What the fuck?
For exams, I guess.
whipping out
Uh,
whipping out the A4 paper IDE light
yeah,
mode.
I would say that. Maybe so in Cal Newport's like deep work, he talked about that guy who like sat in a room with a bunch of textbooks and a pen and paper and learned how to code like that.
I don't
That's
believe in
prob
that.
that's probably where I'm assuming that's where you're referring to that. Ayush. But yeah, I code on the computer, bro.
Caveman James using stone on the walls to like do do like object oriented programming on the stone walls. God dang. All right. We're gonna go to the last question that I have on here. You're an ex-CS player, Mr. Koyo. Do you still play do you still play CS?
No, 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 I don't play CS.
And
Uh,
sorry, continue.
so yeah, I haven't played CS in 3 years. I played one match, 2 matches in between that period, but it doesn't really. I haven't played it in any like significant level several years.
And do you prefer Val or CS? Because I know at one point you played a little bit of Val.
Yeah, I mean, I like all my friends are gamers, right? And I view gaming as a viable way to socialize.
Mm.
So I mean, I'll play with them sometimes. I used to be pretty into CS:GO. Like I was watching the tournament this morning. North America got to a finals in the tournament for the first time in a while, Liquid. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but it says the average 1 minute of screen time.
Let's go.
But yeah, um, I guess like gaming for me, I never have been addicted to it, which is pretty crazy.
That's actually really good.
But I've always played video games, I guess, because only a child.
Yeah, I know this. I
Yeah,
know that.
I used to play a lot. I probably have over like 5 or 6 thousand hours in CS:GO.
Oh, hold on one
Um,
second. Sorry, that was my mom. My parents are heading out.
no, you chill, you chill.
All right.
I used to actually be on my university CS:GO team as a freshman too, and yeah, I played with some pretty good people actually. Like
Because I
one
saw
of the
you
guys,
used to play ESEA.
yeah, one of the guys I used to play with is like on a good Valorant team now actually.
Mm.
His name is Jordan. I think his alias is like he used to go by a different alias. I think his new one's like Zelsis.
I don't follow Val, and I came from CS, so I played CS for about 2 years, from like grade 7, like all the way through grade 7, all the way through grade 8, and then I sort of dropped off in grade 9, and I have like 2,000 hours in it. And I used to follow the scene a lot, and now if I look at like a finals, I don't recognize half the people, and all the teams and all the orgs are different, and I'm like, damn, what happened? I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really like Valorant that much, but I haven't played it that much. So.
Only reason I say this because I say to like friends like I'm still CS pilled. I think CS is a much better game because sort of like Val and Riot are basically shooting themselves in the foot with how they're dealing with their pro scene. Not gonna get much into that, but yeah, there's a reason why CS is still thriving in Valorant, although they have like pro teams. It's just not the same. Also, movement
Yeah.
is sick.
I haven't played the game in a long time.
I haven't either.
Big of a gamer.
My last, if I go on Steam, I used Steam on my phone the other day because I was with a friend and we were just talking about like the good old days of like playing Counter-Strike when we were like 13, 15, and I pulled up Steam on my phone. I was like, damn, I haven't been online in like 2 months, and I used to be online all the time on Steam. And I'm like, damn, this is different. This is a different life. I'm a different man.
Something interesting I've noticed is like most of the productivity YouTubers like that are dudes have all been gamers.
Let's go.
Serious, bro. I don't know why.
It's because we all come from being sweaty nerds who just grind out games, and we're just like, wait, we can put this somewhere else.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure like Ali Abdallah was a big gamer as well.
Also, keep in mind, Healthy Gamer GG. Like, you know him, right?
Nope. Who is it?
Really, Healthy Gamer? He's
No.
he's a psychologist. He's a gaming psychologist, and he just makes videos on like psychology and gamers because basically he used to be a really, really big WoW player back in the day, and it was really affecting his grades, and like it was all throughout his childhood. And then eventually like he just sort of gone into self-improvement and breaking like gaming addiction and whatnot. And he does like pretty interesting interviews. He does post them on Spotify with like people who were like basically not mentally in the right place and like who like turned around their lives through certain things. And it's like a live therapy session essentially. It's very interesting. But like he used to like grind WoW all the time, and now he's like one of the biggest like improvement channels on YouTube, at least in the gaming scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think gaming can be really detrimental to people's health. I don't think playing that much is a good thing, but
Especially hand health.
I mean like mental health. But yeah,
That too. My mental health got really fucked up from playing Osu. I used to play. If I check my profile right now, I have 704 hours in standard mode, and then I have about 97 hours, which I can equate to like 120 because I played 4 key rhythm games in other games and like other clients, and then 31 hours in Taiko. and then I had 2,000 hours in CS, and then it doesn't track Melee or Minecraft, but tons of hours in those, and then Apex I played for like 2 months, and I got like 150 hours in that, and like after going through all that, I was just like, damn, I could be like. I also talked to someone at my university who's like a gym bro, and he's just like, wow, imagine if you put all that time into doing something like productive. And I'm like, damn, fuck you, but you're right.
Games are a short circuit your dopamine reward system. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think games are effective because it's like a simulation of progression in real life that you're like emulating on a computer versus doing it in person, you know?
I have a pretty healthy relationship now with games. So I don't know. I think for me it's different now. I used to be really, really toxic. I used to be like the kid who would scream on Minecraft, hit my face. The neighborhood, my neighborhood, which I still live in, actually would like talk to my parents because I would like scream at Minecraft and like hit my desk and everything. I had really bad anger problems. And like I used to be really into when I would play Melee with friends and I would lose, I'd get really emotional, like throw my controller and whatnot. But it like games in themselves are very fast triggers for like dopamine, but it also depends on like your relationship with them and like what type of game it is. Um, for me, I've always been into competitive games, which sort of has like that overall mentality of like one more, one more, one more. But I've sort of just like capped myself, and I think that's really healthy, and I think that's like what more people should do instead of trying to go for one more. Like I know a friend of mine who studies like computer shit in college, really long time friend of mine, probably my longest time friend, and he's the type of person who plays League and like is like if he's on a losing streak, he'll be like one more, we can't end on a loss, and he'll like queue 5 games in a row until like 4 in the morning. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? How do you live?
Yeah, it's worrying, man.
Just straying away from gaming. Do you miss the old setup? The one that made you all the Benjamins?
I miss having the cat upstairs that liked hanging out with Mika when I studied on stream.
Mm.
And it was cool living alone. I also enjoy living with my grandma.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess I miss it, but it's a new chapter.
Yeah. What happened? Because I've been wondering this for a really long time. What happened to the Panasonic Pomo Boy?
Yeah, I still have it. The Puma Boy, for you guys don't know who's in chat, is like a Japanese business laptop that looks like it's from 2007. It has like a circular trackpad. It looks like a DVD player. Big bezels, big battery. But yeah. I imported it because I just find it fascinating that something like that could exist in 2022. Um, the Pomo Boy though is like the screen on them are just so bad they don't even show up well on camera.
So
So
that's like the main reason why you dropped it from your streams.
actually no, I did this collab stream with Helene, Study Vibes.
Yeah, I remember that.
The screen was too small for her to like see her very well. She had to use a larger laptop.
Goddamn. Um, Funny enough, I've seen someone on my university campus. They have to be a Japanese student because I can't think of anyone else who would use a Pomo who would even have a like that Panasonic laptop. But I saw one in the wild at my student center, and I was like, "Damn, that's rare. That's a sight. I love it."
Yeah, Panasonic Let's Note. They're they're really expensive in Japan for old ass looking laptop. Yeah, I'm trying to get a better one with Type C, but no, it's like $800 for the one I'm looking at. So I'm trying to
Is it the
chill
one
out.
that I sent you like 5 months ago or so? Because I remember I did send you one. How like they still make that model of laptop.
I have no idea. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Um, do you still do pomodoros? Like, is that still your main method of studying and working?
Um, on stream it is, but outside of the stream, no, I don't usually do Pomodoros.
Mm.
Pomodoro's, I mean, it's a good technique, and it makes sense for streaming with it. But I do more like blocks of 4 hours or so.
I see. Um, I wrote down this question, but you've kind of answered it by just sort of existing in this call right now. Does the jank stream setup still sit dormant on the second floor?
I can show you. There you go.
Hey, let's go.
I use this setup. I just don't stream as often, but I use it just off the stream.
Yeah. I remember when I actually got into your channel around the time I became a Patreon. It was when you were slowing down, and it was like affecting like your sleep and whatnot, being like this really big streamer that everyone is watching studying. And like, how do you feel like, do you feel better making these other channels that are sort of smaller with lesser attention? Like, do you think it helps with your mental health?
Yeah, interesting question. I guess I'll kind of explain why I stopped streaming in the first place, so that you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. But
Mm.
like, I mean, like, I'm not sure if you were like watching when my channel started getting a lot of traction. Maybe like April 2021 or so.
Cause I came around March.
So maybe like my streams were getting probably like 5 or 6 thousand viewers.
But yeah, but you also have to remember I wasn't watching your streams. I was literally just rewatching jvscholz videos.
Yeah. So on the other channel, probably 5 or 6 thousand viewers on average. Um. So I went from 80K subs to 250 in like a week, and then like a month after that went up to like probably 3 or 4. Um. And yeah, I got a lot of like negative feedback and criticism. Like people start making videos about why I'm a bad person and stuff.
which I find
And
really funny because you just studied. You just sat at a desk.
yeah, and I guess like I've just never been in the spotlight like that before. I really, if it was me now, I'd handle a lot better. But I guess I just don't like being in controversy, you know?
No, that's
This
completely fair, especially when you're a university student and you're just trying to like balance internships, work. I mean, not maybe
Yeah.
you're not work, school, but like also your own personal life.
And now I'm dealing with like people who don't like me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's someone like posted me on Reddit, like on the next fucking level subreddit, and it got like extremely toxic in the comment section to the point where like I've never been so sad
God
that
damn.
people were just like pretty much picking apart like anything I ever did ever. Like I can send you the thread, but most of the comments got removed for being too toxic.
Mm.
And the post got removed on the sub because it wasn't next fucking level. And I agree with it. It probably wasn't next fucking level, but then I go on like the homepage and it's like someone doing like a backflip. And like I guess I valued everyone's opinions back then,
Mm.
so it really hit me hard. And then the pandemic, I felt as though it was kind of ending for me. Like I had to go back to school in person and stuff, and I already surpassed my goal like 3 times over.
And now
And
6 times over.
yeah, I suppose I haven't really checked that channel in a while, so I don't really know the stats. But
It's at 600K. A little over, but like 600K.
yeah, and I guess like some of my friends were like leaving me and stuff. Actually, they didn't like me like that. And then people were like from high school were messaging me that who used to be really mean to me, and then now they're like trying to be friends with me because of my clout, and I just kind of got
Mm.
really upset. Um, yeah, and I guess I hit my goal of 1 year. I did exactly what I came out to do from the beginning, you know? Like
Yeah.
I achieved my mission.
And you peace out. You're like, what's up?
I actually wanted to keep on going, but I don't know. I just felt as though I said exactly what I had wanted to do, you know. So I wanted to keep on going, but um, I just didn't like being so removed from the people who made me who I was, like from my small community, you know. Like
Mm.
the locals, I wouldn't see, like the people who would come in regularly, I wouldn't see them say hi anymore because they get flooded out. And it's pretty sad for me because I've logged like thousands of hours with people studying, and then now they're just gone.
Mm.
And yeah, I guess like my mom wasn't here, so it's just me.
Mm.
So a pretty rough time in my life. And like I don't know if you saw, um I guess like I kind of freaked out once actually, like people were making fun of my face because it was really red. Um
What the
I
fuck?
just I had something done at the dermatologist and it just made my cheeks really red.
Mm.
And I was just really annoyed because like I don't know, thousands of hours, like I was really fed up with talking to chat, repeating myself thousands of times, you know.
Like, hey, I'm getting things done on my face. Just like, calm down.
Yeah, so I kind of freaked out actually. I think the video's still up. It's just like a 7-minute video of me just saying fuck, 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 and then like ending the stream. And like, I mean, I ran my marathon. I did that as well.
Yeah, you did that. That's really impressive.
So it's hard to say, man. I guess I kind of ran away. I got really scared and anxious whenever I'd go to study, which is not how you should be studying, you know?
Mm.
So I guess I made the other channel as like a way to keep on going, but also as a way to run away in a sense. I'm kind of mad at myself for doing that actually. But yeah, that's why the jvscholz channel exists.
Which was originally like study with Mika, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to transition to just edited videos on the main channel, but I don't know, you know.
Do you think it's like a fear of like going back to your main channel?
Yeah, 1000%. I haven't viewed it in a long time because I guess I just don't want to think about all the negativity that people have associated like that channel with me, and that all that hate.
There's a thing that I always relate to, because like there's this thing in my head that I relate to now, because I used to be really really into like what people thought about me. I was very anxious, and it had a lot to do with, I think, me being untreated medically and like not going to therapy at all, and just trying to be like, I was very stubborn, and I still am very stubborn, where it's like I want to do things by myself because I believe I can get it done, but I would just always be in my own head. So I ran away a lot too. In grade 11, I was struggling a lot, and I took a drama class, and I was like, the night before I was up crying on like a call with a friend because I like, my grandmother had died a year before and it just hit me then. So I was like bawling my eyes out, and then I woke up very sleep deprived because like after you've cried, if you cried yourself to sleep, you wake up and you're exhausted. And this guy just like threw a ball at me, and I just flipped out on him, and then I dropped the course because I didn't want to like be around him anymore. Well, I didn't want to be around him anymore, but I was also really nervous with drama. And then I dropped a physics class too because like I felt like I just couldn't do it, and I had the expectations of like friends and everything to be like a smarter person, because like I don't know, in my group of friends I feel like I am seen as someone who is smart, but I just have low confidence. And I've ran away a lot, even from YouTube channels. I like, this is like probably like my 8th YouTube channel or something. And I saw what you were doing. I saw what Smart Toki was doing, who is another study YouTuber. I saw what Kyo was doing, who's also a big inspiration of mine. I saw all what they were doing, and then I started got into improvement. And something that I learned along the way was, and this also comes from being like really into Super Smash Brothers Melee. Like, it's easily like my pride and joy game that I love a lot. Um, with like, I learned a lot of mentality from Inner Game of Tennis and just playing Melee, where it's like, if you have all these people like hating on you, it's like you're not thinking about them until they bring it up, and then you get in your own head. But you have to realize this, that you're more in their head than they're just inserting themselves into your head. So like you're just living your life. You're just chilling. You're studying. You're doing whatever James things that James does. Just James is around. And motherfuckers are out here like hating and like psychoanalyzing and putting labels onto you that you don't relate to. But the thing is like all of that doesn't matter because your fan base knows who you are and you know what you do. And it's not to say that you shouldn't ignore criticism, some criticism, and like you did address some like misconceptions that people had of you, and that's an adult thing to do. But the not adult thing to do is to not approach anyone about anything and then just sort of go with your own thought train to make something that could be harmful to someone else. Like discussion's always important, and to create a discussion instead of a hate mob is very important. But to sort of summarize what I'm saying, like when people hate, you have to think about it like they're like you're in their head. You're in their head. You're powerful because you are so powerful that they are thinking about you so much that they feel the need to like express that. And that's crazy that we have that power as humans to do that. Like we can affect people like that. So that's how I've sort of like started to deal with hate and things. So I've gone through like relationships and stuff and that have not ended right. And like especially recently, like like my last two like sort of like me meeting people did not end very well. But like if they say anything negative about me, like why does it matter to me? I'm living my own life, and they're going to talk to people that I don't even talk to that much. And I don't even want, and even if I do want to associate with them, I don't really care what they think, because they're only getting one side. And that's it. You're in their head. You're in their head and you're powerful.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I rambled on a lot about that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, I guess people just like, I worked my like butt off for thousands of hours, and then I get compared to Ty Lopez.
Which I thought was fucking hilarious. Like I don't know. I laugh about things like that. When I see like comparisons about that, like I don't know. I just sort of deal with like laughter and comedy is like sort of my way of coping. So
No,
I don't know.
but
Sorry if like
like,
that makes you uncomfortable, like me laughing at like.
no, I get it. It is funny to me, but like, yeah, back then I was pretty upset that people thought I was doing it for like clout and money, and
Are your videos even monetized? Like, are your study with me streams even monetized?
so like you can run different types of ads on your videos. There's like banner ads and video
Yeah,
ads, skippable ads. My streams all have banner ads and only banner ads, which is the lowest advertisement.
because they can just get removed by ad blockers easily.
Oh, it's because if you don't monetize it, the algorithm won't promote it.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
they can't make money off of it.
Uh, so like,
Yeah, it's more of a necessity. I wouldn't monetize it if I didn't have to,
and like companies, they want you to monetize it. Like it's the same thing on like Twitch, where like they cut back everyone's revenue, and now they're introducing a more like a method of monetizing where you just have to run ads more to get higher revenue, because there's lots of top streamers who just don't run ads because they know the viewers don't like them. So like YouTube just has that implemented. But like I didn't know that because I haven't been monetized since I was like in grade 7, because the monetization requirements were really low, and that's when like MCNs were like the big shit. Like Freedom, I think, was one. It was an MCN that you could sign to if you had like 100 subs, and you'd make like pennies off of like your videos. So I used to make like $2 or $3 off of Minecraft videos. I was grinding. I was a hustler. That was a real hustle. Minecraft survival games. Episode 200. I won the Minecraft survival games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like totally cool with people making like money off their videos. The only reason I did that was so that people would know that I wasn't there to chase clout.
Mm.
and then I got accused of it anyways. So like it was kind of like, bro, I should just monetize it. No, but no, I totally understand why people monetize videos. It was literally just out of principle because I wanted people to know why I was there in the first place.
Yeah, and like it's I don't know, it's a very good thing to do because like you sort of just would stream all this time, but like not everyone has the time to like binge watch jvscholz and learn everything about him through his study with me streams. Like I think I've only seen like one or two of your streams in their entirety, and all the rest of them are just through like other research and whatnot, like your website or your other channels. And either way, people will always find a way to twist things to their own narrative and to their own agenda, no matter what. So, to like, it's okay to like take it to some extent. If you're like a bad person, like don't be blind and like realize you're a bad person. But if it's like your your lifestyle is different and you are like to a Western audience, it's harmful, but to an audience that like needs this sort of like help and support and like feel of not being lonely during COVID, like that those sorts of people, like they're the ones who appreciate you. Those like the lots of like the West will just like twist it differently, but it's just like the different work ethic from different regions.
Yeah. Um, I would kind of forget what the original question was.
I don't even remember either. It was just talking. You were just sort of talking about
I think it
the
was about
hate.
the different channels or something.
Do you? I don't know. Do you want to go back to the original channel?
No, no, it was just like I was trying to explain why I think I had three channels, right?
Right. Oh, I'm confused because I didn't even write this down. I just sort of asked you. I
Mm.
asked you why, like, how did you deal with the stress of having such a large stream blow up and the impact it had on your mental health?
Yeah, not well, man. Well,
Evidently.
20 years old,
Yeah.
and uh, probably like actually I was probably barely 21. Now that I'm 22, I've come a long way. Um, but yeah, I mean, uh,
I feel like
the
people when they're 22, they could like they say they. I feel like if other people hear you say I'm 22, I've come a long way, they can think of it as kind of a short amount of time. But they also have to. I feel like people have to realize that you're very intentional with what you do. So your progression, your rate of like sort of progression and productivity is faster than most. And like you read a lot too. Like
yeah,
you dedicate yourself to you, and that's not something that lots of people do.
I would say that I spend a fair amount of time actively trying to improve myself. So you can come a long way in a year.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's just like the dichotomy or like the contrast between being really happy that your channel is growing, and also the sadness that comes with losing a lot of what you loved in the first place. Yeah.
And what helped you like along the way?
I don't know. I left social media. That's when I hated social media the most, and I
That's
use it
fair.
very rarely. Like I would say I hate very little,
Oh,
but I
okay.
really like was very um like unable to comprehend how how much stuff was happening to me, and zero support systems.
Yeah. And it's definitely hard with zero support systems and friends leaving you and you don't have your mom and you're living alone.
Yeah, and like
Like it
just all
piles. It like habits stack, but also things like this stack and it's
I,
not fun.
it was one thing I probably would have been okay actually, but it was just I guess like a perfect storm brought me here. I got really lucky with a lot of things, but also a lot of the same things like unwound me, and I just wasn't resilient. Like I had a summer internship, and I did so bad that it's actually like the thing I feel the worst about ever was
Really.
how bad I did at an internship right after. Yeah, like I think about it almost every day. That internship.
Really? God damn. Like you just didn't put in like the work that you should have.
No, I put in basically no work because it didn't work. Like it felt everything felt meaningless. Like you work your ass off, and then this is what happens.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I can sort of like everything just feels like heavy and gray.
Yeah, it was definitely. I don't want to use like the word like depressed.
You can say depressing. It was like because depression is both a mood, but you can also have like
Well,
chronic depression.
I'm worried about using that word because I just don't want to get labeled as it, and
Oh,
I've
okay, yeah, no worries then.
because like I genuinely wasn't depressed, and then reading about how many comments tell me that I was depressed made me feel depressed. Like
They were trying to
I'm like
make you manifest it.
like if you look at one of the top videos, like the top comments on one of my videos, it's like, wow, I would believe he spent that much time studying because he sounds so dead inside. Like that's the kind of stuff that makes you feel dead inside, you
I
know,
don't know.
and has like 20,000 upvotes.
What the
So
fuck?
I mean, I'm not gonna delete comments on my videos that hate on me because if people see that, then
Yeah.
I feel like people could understand and learn from people hating on me how to deal with hate from themselves. But like if you're 20 and people are telling you you sound dead on inside, and you know, it's pretty rough.
I don't know. I normally took things like that with a stride just because of I don't know. I the reason why I don't know, I'm kind of okay. Do you think that those comments made you self conscious about your voice and how you speak?
No,
Okay. So
I agree with them. I do sound pretty dead inside.
like the reason why no, let me just give you an example because like the reason why I speak like this, like I don't know, maybe to you it may feel like I'm putting on some sort of voice or act to speak to you, like but the thing is, the reality of it is my dad for the longest time worked in television in Canada and he was on television. So when I was younger, he taught me how to speak English properly because I was with my mom a lot and my mom's very shy and she's not from here. And my dad's from here, so he has like very good English. So my way of speaking is very trained because I was trained. So that's just my experience with my voice, but it also makes me upset to hear people like you going through things like that where people are just like I don't know, they point it out, but like is there really a point to pointing it out? You know? It's not really adding anything. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah, people on the internet are just ruthless, man. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's why I went on my little rant
I
about
wish
people who
I could do
hate.
that better, but I'm better now, but I'm a lot more disconnected from social media.
That's
It's
good
really easy
though.
to conflate value with your social media to your personal value. You know, it's very closely related to you. It's your name and your face and what you work on constantly,
Yeah.
and statistics and what people think about you. You know,
And YouTube analytics do not help because YouTube analytics are so fucking like precise and they give you like green
like
and red indicators and
they do,
whatnot.
and it's easy to see that as yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I usually don't like other YouTubers because I just find them really cringy.
I feel that.
So I just couldn't talk to any other YouTubers about my problems, and couldn't talk to many people who could relate to live streaming to thousands of people and then receiving hate out of nowhere, then being compared to Ty Lopez.
That's the most unfortunate part. You're being compared to Ty Lopez.
So yeah, man, it's pretty. Somehow it's doing better during the pandemic versus outside of the pandemic.
Goddamn. I
Interesting series of events.
I'm very lucky to have because I feel like in terms of like my progression, I am like I'm just farther behind Like I like not like I'm gonna compare, even though I shouldn't. I just feel like I'm just a more behind version of what you have, not who you are, but who you've portrayed yourself as on the internet. So, um, and I've been on YouTube like you for many years. So I just don't feel a connection with my numbers and my morals, my worth of who I am as a person, because at the end of the day, like you, me, every other YouTuber, we're just like especially every other study YouTuber. Study YouTubers are just students. We're just guys or girls or everything in between who just sit down and maybe record some B-roll of studying and writing down in their notebook, or sitting in front of like a camera and like just doing pomodoros. Like we're just normal people. We just study. That's the only that we just show ourselves studying. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Mm.
Getting away from this. um, is there anything in the future that people watching should be looking out for, or do you just not want to give any expectations for anything?
I have a few videos in the works. I was supposed to get a camera yesterday, but it never got delivered, and I was actually gonna work on it like all today.
What camera?
It's a Fujifilm. Yeah, so that's pretty frustrating because now I have to wait until tomorrow. I have a lot of video ideas, and I actually have a lot of videos made. I just haven't uploaded them.
Is there any reason for that, or just like?
I guess I enjoy making videos. I just don't like social media. I enjoy talking to people, like on this platform, right, and meeting individuals. I don't call the people who like watch my videos fans or anything.
Mm.
I just call them people who watch my videos, right? And it's pleasurable to interact with them, but it's just certain aspects about being on social media make me very
Pessimistic.
very apprehensive about returning to anything like full time.
And that's fair because you were legitimately traumatized. You have trauma.
Yeah. I'm like better now. Yeah, I could probably handle it, but I just don't know if it's part of my life goals necessarily. So, like, we'll see. I have a series that I actually care about a lot that I'm producing right now. And I hope it comes out on New Year's Day. But I really need the camera to work on it today because it's only like a week away or 2 weeks away.
Is it? Holy shit, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Oh, you're so right. It's literally out 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, and it's like an actual fully produced video where I intended to hire like other actors and stuff for it, but I think it's gonna be me. I've been working on the screenplay for a while.
Oh shit. James be working. James be writing.
What are you working on right now? Like outside of YouTube or my hobbies or where at, bro? But yeah, I guess I have stuff in the pipeline. I'm just reluctant to promise.
Anything.
I usually set the bar kind of low, you know.
Right. And that's fair. You seem like a pretty, like, this is sort of like, are you like a shy person? Would you consider yourself shy?
I've been a lot less shy. Prior to it, I was very shy, but nowadays, I mean, I'm kind of tired right now, to be honest. So sorry if I seem low energy, and I've been pretty low energy this whole stream, but like
you're normally pretty chill, so like it's fine. But it's just like in contrast to me, it may seem like low energy, but this is legitimately just how I speak. Even when I'm low energy, I speak like this. So you're completely fine.
Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert, but shy and introversion is not necessarily the same thing. They're related, but you know, you can be one and not the other.
Do you have any? Because you already said you don't watch YouTube, so this question just sort of thrown out there. I was gonna ask you if you any channels you recommend for digital minimalism, but I think I already know one of them that you would recommend.
Who's that?
Jose.
I kind of disagree with a lot of Jose's
Really?
fundamental ideas a little bit. I mean, I appreciate another YouTuber within this whole space, but I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things he says.
Mm.
But yeah, the problem with finding information about digital minimalism is it's all like gets deleted, and the people who are like the most intelligent about it aren't on the platforms.
Yeah, because they're practicing what they preach.
Yeah, so it's hard to say, you know. Like you have to take the people who do talk about it on YouTube with a grain of salt, because
Right.
they're obviously not doing everything fully, right?
Right.
Um, and the same goes for me. Like I hope people take what I say with a grain of salt. Uh, the information I get is out of books for digital minimalism, you know.
It's the same with me too. Like
It's like,
I talk about digital minimalism, but I'm obviously not a perfect human being who consistently practices what I preach. I'm still very new to this. Um, not even I haven't even been doing all this for like a year. Like getting into digital minimalism, that is, and trying to be more intentional with what I do. So it like yeah, basically everyone who's really good at digital minimalism is smart and doesn't use social media. We don't have
yeah.
many people, and it's a very small thing.
I fully intend to create more content within that topic, you know.
Mm.
I see you later, Yush. Things are coming, bro.
I like how this is just your chat is my chat is now your chat.
Sorry.
You're just streamer brained now.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding my chat just because it'll distract me a lot because like my ADHD is pretty shit. Um, something I'm very interested on is because you sort of expressed this throughout our conversation and through our messages on Discord is ego. Do you think your relationship with ego is healthy or not? Or are you because like I have my own personal relationship with ego and it's because of like trauma, like a death in my family, which made me very non-egocentric because I was afraid of getting an ego because I thought I would die essentially. But I was wondering how your relationship with ego is.
yeah. Um, I would say that I'm inherently arrogant and narcissistic, which makes sense if you're a YouTuber, you know.
Yes, sir.
Like, kind of people that do post videos tend to be narcissistic and arrogant. And I definitely fall within that camp. And being on YouTube, it doesn't help. You see a following and you think that that is your value. So now I walk around thinking that I'm amazing all of a sudden. And when in reality, you know, it's a parasocial relationship. I might still be too timid to walk up and talk to someone who I find interesting in real life. Um, and I was telling you about why, that I find YouTubers cringy, right?
Mm.
I just find arrogance distasteful because I like when I see that myself, I really don't like it.
Mm.
So when I see it in other people, you know, I just don't like it. I guess it's an insecurity. If you see that in other people, you won't like it.
Mm.
So I don't know if this is the same ego that we're talking about here. I'm thinking more about,
I'm talking about ego as in feeling you have more inherent value because of your status as a creator.
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of YouTubers think that way, you know.
Mm.
Uh, Being an influencer, it's part of the name.
Ah, don't say the I word.
Yeah,
Don't say
that's
the
like
I word.
the thing that I'm trying to be the opposite of. Um, so it's interesting, even within the study sphere, I feel as though a lot of these individuals are not there to teach their audience. They're there for self-satisfaction.
I feel like at least in my case it's good just because I'm really small. I don't really see any value in it. But when it gets to your case where you're as big as you are, it's like you can get associated with not having good intentions because you have a big following. Even if it's not that case, you know?
Yeah, I mean the whole like cloud chasing thing. Um, my goal from the beginning was to show people that even during the pandemic we could still be strong.
Mm. And
Yeah,
consistent.
yeah, part of strength, I would say, is
Oh, okay.
consistency.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, people will always let stuff like that get to their heads, you know, like it's tragic, man. People want to be influencers nowadays.
This is why we need the Chinese TikTok and not our North American TikTok. We need to see these spaceships and engineers working in cool science experiments and not people making slime or selling pink sauce or stealing things. Do you remember that trend? Wait, no, you're like not on social media.
I'm
There
not. No.
there was a trend called devious licks, and it was literally people stealing things.
Oh, no.
And then
Wasn't aware.
recently there was another trend where there was an exploit, and I think some Kia cars, I think, or Hyundai, and it made it so then it was basically like brain dead to break into people's cars. So it became a TikTok trend to break into people's cars.
No, I haven't heard of that.
It's fucking weird, dude. People will do anything to make their numbers go up, and it's depressing. Like, fucking read a book. Don't steal a car.
I don't know. Have you read any of Harari Novel? Like Noah Harari. I'm such a brain fart right now. The author of Homo Deus, Yuval Noah Harari.
I've never read Homo Deus.
Homo Deus is like post-technological society, like where are we heading as a society? He has another book called Sapiens.
I see metaphysical. I don't know. It's in, for me, it's in Spanish. So
the author, he's a historian, and he has like this really popular book about like anthropology and how we became the way we are. And then he has another book, like a sequel called Homo Deus, where it's like post-technological era, where are we heading, what is in the future, and what's in the cards.
What's their name?
Yuval Noah Harari.
Okay, am I spelling, how do you spell Homo Deus?
Homo and then Deus.
Is it all one word?
2 words.
Okay, that's why. I was searching it up all as one word on Goodreads.
But
oh, I see. Man, I'll put it in my wants.
It does feel like we're heading in the wrong direction very often.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Speaking of, we're talking about books right now. I was actually a point I had here. Do you have any, aside from the books that you regularly recommend, which are like Atomic Habits, Digital Minimalism, Deep Work, are there any other books that you would recommend for people who are like students or trying to better themselves?
There are a lot of ways to better yourself in the literature space besides reading self-help. You can learn a lot from reading fiction. If you read Crime and Punishment, any Dostoevsky, I'm a really big fan of Russian literature.
I just took a Russian literature class.
Nabokov. Yeah, I really fuck with Russian literature. As far as self-help, I don't know, man. I'm not a big. I read a lot of books, but I think you should only be focused on applying the fundamentals as much as possible.
That's something I definitely agree with, because my only self-help books I've read were Atomic Habits, Digital Minimalism, Deep Work, and then the additional Inner Game of Tennis. And the only reason I read that is because it's actually really popular in the melee scene. Like, it's a book that people often recommend to other people for self-improvement. And in terms of self-help books, my it's very very tragic, but there was a while like things were going downhill in my house, and we were getting lots of Amazon orders for books, and what it was my dad just constantly buying self-help books and sending them to our house and whatnot. And I remember like losing it on him because like he was just buying so many self-help books, and I'll like give him books to read and just say only read these, read them like every single day, but actually take in what you're reading instead of just like flipping through the pages, because I feel like that's what lots of people do who are down the rabbit hole of self-help. A lot of them get into the toxic self-help space where they're constantly reading books thinking they're improving without applying the base fundamentals, which you can find in just a couple of books.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like if you do any sort of reading, you're probably benefiting yourself. You know, as long as it's like a like average to above average book,
Mm.
you'll probably be a good like no matter the genre. Maybe not like comic books or manga, but you know, like an actual book.
Yeah. All
Anyways,
right.
James, yeah, sorry, bro. We've been talking for a minute.
Yeah. I was about to say, because it's been 3 hours. Your interview with Keo was just over one. We've been talking for three. So I just wanted to ask you, are there any final tips of advice for fellow students? Well, like you're not a student anymore, but um, any tips of advice for people who are struggling with smartphone and social media addiction?
I'm still a student. I'm still a student,
Oh, I thought
but
I thought those were your final term.
I think I'm gonna do a master's. So one more semester.
Ooh.
But anyway, even if I graduated, I would still consider myself a student.
Oh, okay.
Um, as far as smartphone addiction, uh, there are many things in life in general that
Oops.
will try to pull you in, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say that the main horsemen of today, social media, video games, pornography, online shopping, on-demand video streaming, right?
Right.
So if you remove those off of your phone and if you remove yourself of the desire to use those, then your phone usage in turn goes down. That's why you're on your phone, is to be on social media, on pornography, on video games, to watch Netflix, to go on Amazon. Um, so I don't think the focus is how do we use our phones less. You're using your phone so much because that's a byproduct of using those five things so much. It's just a medium, you know.
Mm.
So if I'm like a casino, like if I'm addicted to going to the casino to go gamble, I'm not trying to reduce the time I spend in the car. You know, I'm trying to address my mental health problems that make me want to go to the casino in the first place. The car just goes down in tandem. So I would say that's like the wrong question.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out how to be not addicted to those things. And it's like a hard question, man. I would say it's like one of the modern dilemmas is how do we be intentional with our time when so many things are trying to steal it, you know?
Right.
What was effective for me and is probably not going to be practical for most people was spending all my time studying, because in turn you're so focused on one thing, your attention span improves significantly, right?
Yeah, and it's that's actually like definitely helped me, like getting my screen time down. Just running when I was studying for semantics, just running 7-hour streams, I would forget my phone was even there.
Yeah, and you're also very intentional. If you have to plan out a big 7-hour chunk of your day, of course you're gonna have a plan in mind of how you're gonna implement that, right?
Yeah, like the only time I used social media was like maybe during a break if I remembered I even had social media, because there I would like ignore people for extended periods of time. I would just like message like what's up, and then I'll just close it and then I'll forget about it for another 3 hours. Or like I will message people who are in my courses to talk about academics. Like it's mainly like I would just use like Discord or WhatsApp just for talking to people at my university for academics and nothing else,
Yeah,
which I feel helped a lot.
the temptation is definitely still there inside of me. I mean, I grew up on this stuff, you know.
Yeah, we're from that generation.
Yeah. So for me, the taste for it goes away because I was so focused on something else for so long, you know, that in conjunction with the non-ability to do it, it just goes away. And you have to keep yourself accountable through a variety of systems as well. Challenging addiction's a hard thing, man. Addiction runs in my family.
Same here, brother.
There is definitely
Either smokers or drinkers.
no easy way to do it. So yeah, I guess the thing is we have to be conscious about why we're on those 5 things in the first place. Am I coping with something? Am I trying to numb my senses? Do I desire a partner in real life? Do I have friends to talk to? Am I so stimulated that I forgot what reality is like? Why am I doing this? And we have to ask ourselves tough questions, you know. That it's really difficult to answer honestly. Like, these are some very deeply rooted things that we're trying to run away from through those 5 things. Like, say like I buy too much stuff, right? Maybe I'm compensating for having not a lot as a kid.
That's
So
something I definitely relate to.
That's what I'm addressing. That's what you have to address. And if I'm playing like too many video games, maybe I actually do want to work myself up in real life, right?
But you're just doing it through another medium.
No, I'm just afraid of being rejected in real life and failing in real life. So why not simulate it on a video game where if I fail, the barrier is much lower to my emotional damage, you know? So there's this, it's really hard to say in one answer. There's a lot of things that we have to consider. I would say that the reason that we're on all of these things is due to our mental health and the things that we're not addressing, and we're coping with those mechanisms. And then as a result, we're on our phones.
No, I definitely agree with you.
Being on our phones results in a platitude of other mental issues. So you really do have to challenge the heart of the problem here. And we have to be asking the right questions.
Like, the reason my question was worded the way it was, A, because it's just a dot, and B, it's because it's like, it's what people want to hear. What the fuck? Holy shit, that my Apple Watch scared the shit out of me. Sorry about that. People, it's very common, especially in like games. People want to improve, but they want to just get advice, but they're most likely just going to get the same advice that they've heard forever. So for me to ask you that question is me wanting you to address what you did, to say, like, to say it how it is and to say what reality is, instead of people who are drowned in illusion by thinking you can just, like, continue reading self-help books, continue with this advice, and continuing trying to improve without addressing the underlying reasons for why someone may have addiction to games or porn or to various mediums of media in general. So I found, like, even though your answer isn't concrete, I don't think it can be concrete, because everyone is different in their own reasonings, their own rights, and how they cope.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a question that strikes at the core of a lot of fundamental human issues. I mean, if you're depressed because you don't understand the meaning of trying to work hard towards self-fulfillment or whatever, of course I'm going to do things that numb my senses, like the fear of just doing things that aren't really truly meaningful, right? Um, and of course, I'm numbing the sense of how do I find meaning in this life. It's like a scary question to ask yourself. Um, and yeah, like if I told people that it's not going to be a popular answer, right? Telling people they have to put in hard work
Yeah,
is never cool. Um, that's why the prototypical advice amongst people who aren't truly healed or whatever is just uninstall it and use willpower. Well, we're
right.
not addressing the fundamental issue here. What you're just gonna keep recurring the same problems if you don't address like the symptom or the main cause, right? If we just like put a band-aid on the symptom, nothing is gonna be healed. And that's the typical advice you hear from people. It's never a popular answer. Telling people that they have to ask themselves difficult questions about why they're acting in the way they are in the first place.
Humans want things easier. That's all we want. That's where we can relate this back to our relationships with our phones and TikTok, where we can either address tough problems or we can doom scroll for hours a day without addressing the problem and just feeling like it's normal. And
I feel as though people know something is fundamentally wrong with them. That people aren't happy when they are doom scrolling. It's
I feel like that's mixed.
it's happy, it's short-term gratification,
Yes.
but it's not gonna persist to true joy in the long run. Like we won't always be happy in life, but you can be truly joyful over a span of time.
Mm.
Like the overall level on average can be much higher, and people know that, right? But yeah, it's a scary question, man.
I like the scary questions though. I've been to like lots of therapy and I'm pretty open about that. So these scary questions are things that I have had to tackle vocally in front of people, and I do journal every day. I journaled a lot during the pandemic, on Google Docs, on a notebook. I do journaling on this small notebook over. Oh shit! What am I gonna drop something? Oh, never mind. I put it back in my bag because I was studying at a friend's place. But I have a little notebook from Muji, and I use that to track things that I'm doing. And I'm very dialed into the hard questions. And I feel like the hard questions are like people will see it as like cheesy, but they're hard questions for a reason. They're difficult, and I feel like some people will spend their entire lives never thinking about it, and or just not thinking hard about it, and I feel that's kind of wasteful.
Yeah, man. These questions are fundamental to humans, so they've always been around, right? Um, and the answer has always been there, I feel like, but
I feel like the
uh,
answer comes a lot from experience, and just people don't want to put in experience or work.
and yeah, people are just okay being complacent.
Yeah, they get comfortable.
Um,
All right, James. It's been 3 hours and 15 minutes. You seem like you need to sleep.
Gotta go to the post office and go ship a present to my host family in Japan.
Oh, right,
Before.
right. That's dope. Um, it really means a lot to talk to you, honestly. Like, you are very clearly one of my bigger inspirations for my content, and hearing you talk about the sorts of things like that I'm like passionate about in terms of technology and like relations with like I don't know society and our social media. I feel like it was really I feel like it was even if it wasn't like giga productive, I feel like it was very very nice.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. I know I seem really tired, but
That's fine.
uh,
That's fine.
I actually am tired, not because of this conversation. It's just I'm trying to work my sleep schedule, so
Okay.
I was just up really early, um, and like went to bed kind of late as well. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Thanks for talking, man. Thanks for having me on your channel. It's cool.
No worries. Like, if you need anything, like, I'm here for you, dude. If you need any help with, like, if you need anyone to talk to, if you feel alone, like, I'm here for you. Like, I got you, homie.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, normally I don't really do podcasts because I just feel as though the topics tend to be not very interesting. But these are things I actually care about, which is kind of the main reason I accepted, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised because, like, I don't know. Okay, I say I don't associate myself with, like, value, but the fact that I have, like, not even 500 subs, I'm talking to fucking jvscholz. Like, like, literally, like, one of my idols. Like, I have a study, I have a study stand over there, ThinkPads, dumb phones. Like, it's really, really cool, and it really means a lot to me.
Oh, no worries, bro. I'm glad that whatever I put out there has at least helped somebody in some capacity. It's very rewarding knowing that, you know?
Yeah. Well, thank you, James. I hope we talk whenever we can again in the future. I know
Yeah,
you're a very
thanks,
busy
bro.
person.
I didn't know you were Ontario because I was in New York for a little bit, but wait,
If you're ever
so
in,
hi.
if you're ever near Toronto, I will pull up.
Or on Toronto, sorry, my bad. But yeah, let me know, man. It was cool.
It was cool, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you.
And that was it, boys. That was it. That's the James stream. Ask James to play host. Oh fuck! I'm sharing my monitor. That's it. That's the stream. And turn back on my camera. There we go. My camera settings are all fucked up. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I was thinking I was going to make the stream unlisted or, like, private for a while, but I feel like the stream is so long, I don't even know what I'm going to do with the footage. So I'm going to just keep it public after. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys had a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed this talk with James. VOD will be up in a bit. It automatically unlists, and I'm really hungry, and I need to pee again. So it'll probably be live in, like, 10 minutes, 30 minutes max on my channel. And yeah, see you guys.